hopefully we are live. I'll be able
I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
to. Yeah. Um. Right. At the moment, it's looking like a blank screen. So
No,
that,
no
that's.
green dot.
Oh no, wait. No, it's there. It was just running a bit slow. All right. Cool. We're on.
Yay, episode 13.
Episode
Boom, boom, boom,
13.
boom.
Yeah. Unscripted. Unscripted.
Un
Obviously.
and unlucky.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, surely there's
I
some
guess
countries where 13 is lucky.
yeah, it probably is actually. But
Anyway.
yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get right into it. Two newses.
Yes.
Aliens.
What?
Um,
More?
boop, 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 boop. Aliens. Um, two pieces. One, they detected a radio signal for the first time, as convincing as the WOW signal. I don't know if you remember that one in the 70s, when they were doing. You were there for the 70s, weren't you, Chris? No. They would.
Well, I mean, in body, but my mind, it was gone. Yeah. Ah, what's happening? I can't hear you at the moment. That's weird. Is it my headphones?
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there we go. Now you're back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, the YouTube censoring you for giving out delicate information about aliens, man. It's too real.
It was as soon as I said
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah, and
uh,
and that's how I know they're real. Oh, glad I got that off my chest.
and there is irrefutable proof contained in that one bit. I can't remember it now though.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway, so the WOW signal was a signal in the 70s when they first started trying to detect radio waves,
Okay.
and
Wait,
so
was that
they
the pulsar one that like turned out to be
no
great? Oh,
no they still don't know what it is. That's why it's called the WOW signal. So basically, it's a series of um,
what it keeps happening?
uh,
Oh yeah, your volume
yeah,
just
yeah,
randomly cuts out from time to time.
that's so weird.
All right. Okay, we are not talking about real
Yeah,
aliens. This is all make
yeah.
believe. All right, go on.
Aliens the movie.
Yeah,
No,
that's
so they made this well they discovered this signal. They detected it.
right.
It was a short burst. Um, it stood out so much from the normal cosmological radio waves.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact technical reason why, but it's probably to do with like repeating signals over a short period of time, and then it stopped. I think it's only like 14 seconds long.
yeah. Oh,
They don't know where it came from. They know the rough area of the sky,
right.
um, but basically the person that I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, now you're back.
Yeah, the person that
Nope, you're cutting in and out.
going on. The person that saw it put
Yes.
"wow" in the margin of the
Okay.
page,
Yeah.
and so it became known as the "wow" signal.
All right.
Um,
Let's have a look. So yeah, it was a strong narrow band radio signal received on August 15th, 1977 by
yeah,
the Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope. Okay. Okay, came from Sagittarius.
headphones or your headphones?
Um, sorry, what?
Is it my headphones or your headphones that are doing that?
I am I cutting out to you? 'Cause I'm only.
Yes.
Oh, you're cutting out to me as well. I mean, I'm cutting
No,
out
no.
to you as.
Yeah, yeah. So when I all of a sudden I lose your voice
Yeah.
and I hear this chook and
Oh,
it
yeah.
cuts out.
No, I get exactly the same thing. All right. Let's just
So
encapsulate. WoW means World of Warcraft. That's all we're talking about. It's not real alien stuff again.
please
Yep.
stop
Stop.
probing my butt.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna take the seat. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah.
So
Um.
yeah, yeah, read on if you want. Yeah,
Yeah. No. It sounds like. Um.
it's pretty
Yeah.
much what. Yeah.
It was measured as signal to noise ratio with the noise average over a few. Okay, so what is it? The entire sequence lasted a full 72 seconds. You still
Oh,
here?
okay.
Yep.
Much longer than I
Yep.
remembered.
Uh, but has not been detected since. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, he was impressed by the results, so he circled it and wrote, "Wow." Okay, yep.
Yeah.
But no one's been able to work out what it actually is.
Yeah. So anyway, they found another one, and it's coming from Proxima Centauri, which is the closest star. It's
Oh,
either a brown or a red dwarf,
yeah.
and um, because the way the planet is moving,
Hmm.
they're able to follow the radio signal as
Hmm.
the planet moves. So it's like basically they're thinking it's coming from the planet,
Right.
and the way it was described was it's in line with early radio wave or radio waves that came from Earth, like the Earth, like because you know how like as you go further out from Earth, you can listen to older TV and radio.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because of the speed of light.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. So it's
Yep.
like anyway, that's
Yep.
the first bit of alien
All right.
news.
So,
There is another radio signal. It was detected on like the 14th of December, I think it was, or
right.
something like that. Um, it was reported more in the 20th or 24th or something.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah,
Proxima Centauri.
yeah,
Yeah, Centauri is
Centauri. Yeah,
4 light years away.
yeah. They're actually talking about. Did you ever hear about the tiny little spaceships they were going to send there? They were talking about sending there.
Nope.
So that one of the plans was to use solar sails, like
Yeah.
to ride the solar wind.
Yeah.
And they estimated if they get these tiny little spaceships like this big
You're right.
and launch a rocket full of them, so like you have thousands of them,
Yeah.
and launch them all at Proxima Centauri. Like you
Yeah.
just launch them in a direction and open up the sails, and then they would be like a meter wide with this tiny little satellite.
Oh.
Um,
Yep.
it could actually it could actually quite rapidly get up to zero point 0.2 light speed.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, and so you would
It's not.
like you would get there within like I think it was like 40 years or something ridiculous.
Well, yeah. If you're getting at point 0.2 light speed and it's
Yeah.
4 light years, so it's 5 times 4, 20 years.
Oh, 20. Yeah. But then it's to send the signal back. It would be another 20 years. Oh no, another
Should
four
only be
years.
another
So
four
yeah,
years.
yeah. So yeah, 25 years or something. I can't remember exactly. It was quite a while ago.
Yeah, that's still a pretty long wait time.
But they were like, this is actually
It's
doable
doable,
to
yeah.
go, and then you would actually have the first images of an exoplanet, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that would actually be
Anyway,
very awesome. Don't they? Isn't there like that whole what is it, Kuiper belt or something at the edge of our solar system, which is they're worried because it's just a
yeah,
whole bunch of random asteroids that can basically shatter anything that tries to go through it.
yes and no. I mean, what's the name? Voyager's already through it.
Oh, it got through. I thought they lost its
Yeah,
signal when it hit it.
no.
Oh,
Um, it's officially like in interstellar space. I'm pretty sure.
oh,
Um, the thing with space is it's very large. So like even though
what?
it's full of, even though it's expanding,
Yeah,
I'm not getting fat. The space is just
yeah, that's
expanding.
right. Uh,
Um, that'd be a great T-shirt. Anyway, the the Kuiper Belt was actually like there's massive holes in it. It's not packed. It's packed locally in the sense that
right. Compared
you
to
know
the rest of the giant expanse of space, which
yeah
has
it's
nothing. Yeah,
yeah it's got a lot of shit in it, but you could easily fire something through it.
right.
And like their whole idea is you're going to send like thousands of these things out, and hopefully a few of them will make the journey and get there, and then beam some cool images back.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, second piece. This is it's much more exciting, but much less interesting now. The Senate. Did you hear about how they were trying to get through another a relief bill for COVID, like a stimulus bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what they did was um, the House and Senate were fighting over it.
Mm,
Finally, they agreed. The House got it to the Senate. The Senate put it up to Trump. Trump was like, "No, I want $2,000 checks."
yeah.
Um, so then it went back to the House. The House agreed. The Senate said no. Um,
Yeah.
and then it went back. It went back and forth, but eventually it's going through.
Okay.
But the Senate put it on an amendment. I think it was championed by
Oh.
Marco Rubio. Did you hear
Yeah.
about this?
I think I heard about
So,
this one. Yeah, go on.
so they want in 180 days they
Yeah.
want the all the release of all known UFO phenomena
Yeah.
by that has been gathered by like
Yeah.
all
Any of
the
the different. Yeah.
intelligence agencies.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
thought that was a pretty cool clause that went in.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I was following that bill because it was just ridiculous. Like the way this
yeah, man,
whole bill is getting passed, it was like lumped in as part of a what a 1.2 trillion dollar package. It's 5,500 pages of the original document plus an additional 2,200 more
yeah,
pages of other crap, and it's just like it had just insane stuff in there, like
uh,
$2 million release for checking whether or not hot tubs can help reduce
yeah,
stress. Like,
yeah, and it
what?
was like and there was like 600 million for random countries,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like I
yeah,
don't understand why they couldn't just push through a small, tight relief package for people. It's so weird.
yeah. I don't know why they're doing their budget bill in that way anyway. It's like they literally said you
Yeah,
get like what 5 hours or something to read this document,
yeah,
and then we're voting it all through. And if you
yeah,
don't want something, you throw out the whole bill.
yeah.
And
It's
like,
how they do it.
yeah, yeah, that's where I think they were saying Trump
Well,
said
it's
the last time it went through, he's like, "What is this? This is ridiculous. I'm not going to
yeah,
sign
yeah,
off on the next one." But they're
yeah.
doing
It's
doing it
disgusting,
again anyway. Yeah.
and it's bizarre that special interests are able to have that much power.
Mm.
Like, because all of that stuff is all for special interests. It's all like, um, well, this donor wanted this, so
Yeah.
I'm going to write that in there. And,
Yeah.
so, well, if you write that one in, I'm going to get this one in, and let's all agree to get our little thing in for our donors.
Yeah. I mean that must be how like they get all their side currency coming in from like external donors because it's like if
Yeah,
you can get this bill put through, we'll give you this X amount of money. It's like yeah, I'll just chuck
yeah,
it in the yearly budget thing or whatever.
yeah. In the COVID relief package.
Yeah, it's COVID relief package. Yeah, it just
Yeah,
it just it's so obviously or blaringly corrupt
yeah,
that it's like it's a joke almost, except that that's the way that it works. It's like, oh,
yeah. It's just like how like politicians can't actually do anything illegal, it seems.
yeah,
Like
just
like
change
there's
the
so
law.
many times where you like read something where they're like, "Oh, this person clearly broke the law when they did that." I mean, mostly they're talking about Trump, but it's like a lot
Yeah,
of times it's other senators. Like there was this thing where there's a bunch of senators that are refusing um, to recognize Joe Biden or something,
mm,
and that's getting like. But then there's one clause in the Constitution that literally says if you don't support him, then you get kicked. You can't be part of the Senate. It's something like this. Like if you actively like work against the American government, you can't be part of the Senate or the Congress or the president. And it's like,
oh, I can't hear. You can't hear me either. I don't know what's going on. Oh,
yeah, I got
it's
you back.
it's back. Yeah, I don't know. Internet bad, maybe.
Well, we do have a rainstorm, like a big thunderstorm here. Maybe that's what
Oh,
is
okay.
happening.
Just getting the
Yeah,
odd
but
cutout. Oh, all right. No, you were. I think
mm,
I heard you up to the point where you said that you can't basically say anything against Parliament or you're out.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's weird that they don't have that they have all these rules, but because it's so political, they can't enforce them. Like
Yeah,
it's like being a politician now is pretty much meaning that you can't be sued or it's like so hard to do that.
yeah,
And it, I mean, look what's happening right now. Where they're like tomorrow, they're planning on like there's 6 Republican senators that have said that they're gonna,
yeah. They're
um,
challenging the vote count or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, but the weirdest thing is it's not even a vote. It's a vote count, but it's the count of the people that have already counted the votes who have then voted. Like all these, like the what are they called?
the electoral
Yeah, the electoral college. So
college. Yeah,
they voted already. They all voted how they were meant to vote. Then they hand them to Pence, who's the president of the Senate,
oh yeah,
and he stands up there and reads it.
yeah.
And they're trying to turn that into some sort of Pence is going to throw them out and say that there's no way and we're going to challenge. It's like, hey, it's never going to work because it doesn't change anything. Like,
No,
and
no. The way.
B,
Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
well, I was just going to say that the second point is basically like it's in the Constitution that you're not allowed to do this sort of stuff, but it's just being completely ignored.
Yeah, yeah. The way I'm hearing it told is that this is the forum that once you put objectors up to the electoral count, or the electoral college count, you then get the opportunity to talk as to what you think your reasons are for this. And
Yeah,
so this is the forum for which, because I think it's supposed to be live telecast or whatever, that this is where Trump's going to try and get all the evidence that he's gathered together to be put out and exposed to the
it's
American people, blah blah blah. And so I I don't like the way I'm hearing about it is that one, the actual challenge, because it's like something to do with dueling electors. You still able to hear me? Is it
yeah, I can hear.
okay? Yeah, the dueling electors is may not even like this is the reason why they're actually putting the challenge in is because these dueling electors. Um, that in itself is maybe non-constitutional because the people that are putting the objection in are not registered members that are supposed to be able to do this. They're like members of the Republican Party or something like that.
Yeah,
And
they're senators.
yeah, and so it's
Yeah,
like they may just go, no, you're not going to have any floor time. Go away. We're done.
yeah.
Um, but
Well,
they're like I don't know. It just feels like they're just stirring up hype for something that they want to have happen tonight, or I mean our time tonight, obviously their
yeah,
time during the day. I'm interested to see because for me it's far more entertaining television than like rewatching Friends episodes or whatever.
hmm
But it also does sound like a little bit of a crazy collapse of democracy the way that they're putting it because
yeah,
the story that's going with it as to why the election was like fake or whatever, not fake,
yeah.
fraud, had
Stolen.
electoral
Yeah,
fraud, yeah,
fraudulent votes. Yeah,
it's just like ranting about communism and the subtle takeover of the um, whatever it
yeah.
is, elite, and it's turning
Lizard people and
just short of that, but it's basically like it's like 1984 Orwell, which is a audio book I'm listening to now, by the way, because I'm like,
oh,
why
you're
do
listening to it. Oh, awesome.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
why
Yeah.
do they keep referencing this? Um,
Mm.
and yeah, I figured I'd never read it, but if I have it just playing in the background while I'm like gaming or whatever, I
Dude,
might actually hear
it's
some of it.
so thin. It's like this big.
Yeah, yeah. The audiobook's 10 hours. It's like
Yeah.
I could knock that out in a couple of days. But I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm never gonna
I
actually
hope
sit
you
down.
get Seinfelded where it's your voice. that you're listening to? Did you ever remember that episode where George is like, I've worked it out, Jerry. Audiobooks. Like that's how I'm gonna get smart. Um, because I hate the voice in my head. I hate my voice. Listening to my voice as I read it. And so he finally gets his audiobook and it's his voice. Like a guy that sounds exactly like him reading the book to
Nah, it sounds like some. This one sounds like some
him.
old BBC reporter or something. Actually,
Ah,
what
cool.
is
Yeah.
it? When I listened to the Brief History of Time audiobook, and that was
Oh yeah.
voiced by a dude called Michael Jackson. I was like so excited when I was getting ready to
Yeah.
listen to it. So I'm like, this is gonna be thrilling, man. But it was just some like, I don't know, I can't remember if he's British or what, or American or something. But yeah, no, no. So that's basically the story they're telling. It's like it's gonna turn into socialism with like what is it? With American characteristics, which will then lead
Yeah.
to communism with American characteristics. And all this, it's like this election is the downfall of democracy in the US.
Yeah.
And
And
that's what
and
it's. I'm just like, yeah. But so far, I mean,
yeah.
unless they're doing an incredibly good job of muscling Trump out of every single avenue that he's had to try and like contest it, um,
Yeah.
there could
And
be also another alternative in that.
what did I tell you like a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah,
I was
there's like,
like,
yeah,
just what? Read
yeah, read the
um the
transcripts.
judgments.
Yeah,
Don't worry about like all the stuff because it's
yeah,
they can say what they're allowed to say whatever they want if they're not under oath.
yeah.
So they say whatever they want, and then you get the judgments, and they
Mm.
get all thrown out.
Yeah, I did actually
And
end up
it's
reading that one.
yeah,
It wasn't actually thrown out based on evidence again. It was thrown out based on
yeah,
legal proceedings.
yeah.
Just
Through they didn't
yeah,
have standing,
yeah. So
and
there's actually no evidence that's come before
yeah,
anything, and so that's what they're like talking about is going to happen for this thing is that they're going to start like oh no, sorry. What's been done so far is the Dominion voting system.
yeah.
There's been some dude that's gone into court and shown or proven that one, they were connected to the internet, and two, they are exceptionally easy to hack, and that they're like the ability to
Is that
change it is like very simple to do, and
is that
that's
that hacking video where there's people that are like around the machine opening it up and
no,
like
no. This one was like from a couple days ago only. That other one
oh
where
okay,
with the pen drive and the hard drives and all that. Yeah, yeah, no, that one's a much older one.
yeah,
This is one that he did in court. Some dude did in court before a judge or whatever, and it's just like, yep, look, this is how you can actually hack into it,
yeah.
and proof that they were actually connected to the internet, which they weren't supposed to be. And there's what is it? The other one that they're really hamming up is the fact that they say that the Dominion voting system itself was bought out by a Chinese company like back in
I thought that was
2017,
disproven.
2018 or something. I literally just heard it mentioned like
Yeah,
yesterday or
I
today.
thought that was disproven. Like that was like ages ago. They were going on about how Hugo Chavez or something,
The
or
Venezuelan
like
dude, yeah.
yeah, like they own it and so do the Chinese or something.
I think he
And
was the
it's
originator of the system, but then it got bought
yeah,
out by a different company.
yeah,
But then that one got recently sold to um, a Chinese-backed company.
yeah.
But I think it was also something that like it was also partly bought out by a shadow company from the Clinton Foundation. Some weird like connection back to them.
But this is what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
this
just
is you can't listen to any of this
yeah.
because
I know I can. It's exciting, but
okay, you can listen to it, but
you can't take it seriously.
like I can make up equally fanciful stuff.
Mm,
So, and that's the problem. That's why you have courts. That's why you have like proceedings and oath and you have to speak under oath,
yeah,
under you know threat of perjury. You have to like do all these things, and basically nothing's happened.
yeah. Nothing's
Like
come out of the court.
they've had what like 85 court visits or something, and not a, and they won one, and that was early on when they were like, we should be allowed to be closer in Georgia, like the people should be allowed to stand closer in Georgia or something.
Right.
And it's like, it's
Yeah.
it was like I was with it for a while. I was like, yep, you're allowed to do all this. It's fine. Like, if you honestly believe that there is voter fraud and there is massive conspiracies and stuff, you
Yeah.
should be allowed to pursue these things.
Yeah.
But it's like once you lose your last court case,
Yeah.
once
Then
the
you got to let
Supreme
it go.
Court
Yeah.
chucks you out, once like there's nothing left,
Yeah.
it's like you can't just try and like they're basically trying to manufacture drama. And there's two reasons I think for this. One is Trump wants to get more money out of his followers, and two, the Republican Party is incredibly divided now. So you've got Trump Republicans, and
Oh,
you've got old
career
school died in
politician
the, yeah,
Republicans. Yeah.
died in, well, I mean not just I'm talking about the general populace.
Right. Oh, okay.
So,
Yep.
so you've got the Trump Republican base,
Mm.
and you've got the Republican Republicans, like the
Right.
ones before Trump.
Yep.
So to win another election ever, you are going to need the Trump Republicans.
Yeah.
So
Right.
there's no way you can, if you go against Trump now as a Republican, you can never run for election and win.
Right. Because you'll lose all of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's basically like Bernie Sanders when um, the main reason why Hillary Clinton lost is because Bernie Sanders lost, and it was sort of portrayed like she stole it off him. I don't know whether she did or not, but it was like kind of
Right.
he should have won the primary. He should have been going against Trump, but he got pipped at the post
Yep.
by Hillary, and um,
Right.
yeah, basically a lot of those people refused to vote. And so, because you've got it on the left as well, you've got the hard left, and you've also got the hard right. Right now, the hard left is appeased because they've won.
Mm.
But if you're going to have someone from the hard right come up, they're going to have to have shown how they supported Trump
Right.
in this coup,
Right.
like in this like attempted coup by the Democrats the next time. So regardless of whether they actually believe any of it, the ones that want to run are going to have to kowtow to all this stuff. Like they're gonna have to at least pay lip service to yeah, the election was rigged, yeah, it was terrible. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
think that's what a lot of it is. A lot of it is just posturing for 2024.
Right.
Um,
Mm. Most likely.
yeah, and Trump could try and go again in 2024 if he's still healthy. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't like his chances. Like I think
Mm.
I think the world will have moved on in 4 years.
Yeah.
Like he will have maintained his core group
Yeah.
in 4 years. He'll probably be making some sort of media company
Yeah.
that is like Trump media and like people. It'll be like rival to Fox Media, and he
Good idea.
will he will capture those people.
Yep.
And that'll make it even worse for the Republicans because then they're going to have a bubble and then another group of people
Yep.
who are loosely associated, like you're meant to be. Like
Yep.
you're meant to be loosely associated to your party. You're meant to be an American first, a
Yeah.
Republican second, or
Yeah.
it's like
Exactly.
a
And not
human being first. It's like
and not be quite so divisive like they've become at
yeah,
the moment. Yeah.
yeah. It's like it should be like watching sport. Like it used to always be like that. It used to be like go my team, go my team. Oh, my team lost.
Yep.
Oh, shucks. Okay, next time.
Yep.
And it's not. It's stopped being that.
Yeah.
And now that they've lost, and I'm not sure if you've seen the Senate races today, the runoff races for Georgia. the Democrats look like they're going to win both of those. They've definitely won one, and they're pretty much ahead on the other one, and it's already like greater than 99% of the votes counted.
Right.
Um, and because they won those two, it's going to be 50-50 in the Senate, and then the president of the Senate, who is the vice
Pence.
president, no, it'll be
Oh.
um, Kamala.
Oh, right. Yeah, when what's his face gets in, when Biden gets in.
Yeah,
Mm,
she gets to vote if it's a tie.
right.
So the Democrats are looking like they're going to control the presidency, the Senate, and the House, and that means that they can get through anything.
Yeah.
The Republicans will have no power
Wow.
in the
They've
federal government.
really screwed it up, hey?
Yeah, totally. And it's because of this long drawn out whine and like there's a thing called coping. like like not
Yeah.
the traditional word meaning of coping, but
Oh,
like it's like
although that would be useful too.
like coping is like trying to pretend like what it means now is like you're trying to pretend that everything's okay. Um, so there's been a lot of coping by the president, and it hasn't looked good and it hasn't played well on the backdrop of a giant raging pandemic, which is
Yeah.
wiping out like thousands of people a day.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I mean, it's flabbergasting that
Yeah.
you have a
It's
you
it's a
have a
total drama.
vaccine,
Yeah.
like you have a vaccine ready to go. They have all the vials ready, um, and they can't get them out. Like they managed to vaccinate 4 million people, and they were meant to have vaccinated 20 million people by now.
Mm. Didn't they I thought they managed to like push through a whole bunch just recently.
Yeah, it's up to 4 million.
Oh, okay. Jesus, is that all?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you're basically getting like, and then you've got all these retarded people, like pharmacists and stuff, that are intentionally destroying vaccination shots. Excuse me,
Dear God, why?
because they probably don't agree with it or something
Oh
or
dear
whatever.
God. What anti-vaxxer
They
nuts.
yeah, they probably think there's microchips in there from
Oh,
Bill
for
Gates,
goodness sake. Yeah. I was listen.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they're like because it has to be stored at like -70.
Yeah. The Pfizer
So
one. Yeah.
yeah, so they're basically just like leaving it out and letting it go bad. Like someone
Idiots.
destroyed like 500, another dude destroyed like 50. Yeah, it is, and they got put in like they got in trouble for it. But it's like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Yeah. It shouldn't be up to them. Um,
Yeah,
is it mandatory for the Americans?
no, of course not.
Okay,
No,
good.
no, no,
Yep.
no. It's
Only
literally
if you want to work or travel or like go to school or have any
yeah.
hope of interacting with anybody.
Well, I don't think even that. I think it's just please take it still
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'd definitely be happy to have it, but it's just yeah, it's sitting a little bit unwell with me. The whole it's still in phase three trials part of it, and we don't know what the long-term impacts of the vaccination are, or any of that studies yet.
Yeah, I mean you can't really because it's only
No,
been
it's
studied for
so
like
new.
a year.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
of course it is. That's fine. I'm perfectly okay with it. The other vaccines that are out that it's like targeting polio and whatever, it's like yes,
mm,
obviously have that stuff because it's now known long enough what it's doing. Um, but it was like I get reminded of that. What was that one they sprayed in Australia? Was it like DDT or something to kill something that had
yeah,
polio in it? And they're just dancing around in it, and it
yeah.
was
The
like,
fog machines.
yeah, it's like, oh, it's actually pretty bad for you.
Yeah, I can't remember what was the other vaccine. Um, was it thalidomide?
I can't remember.
there was one that like had you ended up having deformed babies.
Yeah,
Like
I thought that was the DDT one.
no, no, the
That was a different
DDT
one,
one. This was like I think it was thalidomide from my memory.
right?
I can't even remember what the vaccine was for, but it basically all the babies came out bad.
Yeah, yeah, but like that's the sort of stuff you don't know until 9 months at least after the vaccine's given to
No,
people who get pregnant.
exactly.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, so we got in Australia we're getting the Oxford one.
yeah, I read that it was the Swedish one, the X of something or other.
Oh, okay. Maybe they. I don't think they changed. I'm pretty
Because
sure it was the. I really thought it was the Oxford one. So
yeah, Ramiro was telling me that they're getting like 10 million from Pfizer and then another like 40 or 50 million from I can't remember the name. I think it starts with E, some sort of
we've only got 25 million people.
yeah, I know, but you need two shots. Um,
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, individual vials. They're buying individual
Yeah.
vials.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I honestly thought it was the Oxford one.
and, that I think was the original one, right?
Yeah. Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah, yeah. We need one of those. Um, what's this vaccine that produced HIV? No, that's not the one.
That was the Brisbane University one.
Dear.
They
Um,
tried to use part of the HIV virus to deliver the deliver the vaccine because it had some sort of chemical marker, and someone got a false positive HIV.
yeah, no.
Mm.
So the
So they had
federal
to shut
government.
that one down.
Okay, so Pfizer is Germany's BioNTech one.
Yeah,
Um, elderly people will be the priority as well as the frontline workers, which is good. AstraZeneca. Oh, that's the Oxford University one.
yeah,
Right. When was this posted? January 6th. Yeah, okay, so
yeah,
AstraZeneca. So yeah,
yeah.
they've
Pretty sure.
secured 54 million doses of the AstraZeneca one. I don't
Yeah, yeah.
know whether they need 54 million. I'm guessing some
Because
won't
it's
work.
two doses. You just said
Yeah, okay.
it's two vac. Yeah.
But that makes 64 million
What?
doses. Because they've got
No,
10
no.
million from the Pfizer, is it?
Yeah, and that's one, isn't it?
And 54 million from AstraZeneca.
Yeah. So that's what 24, 26, 27 million.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 37 million.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, that works
Yeah.
out.
Well, yeah, it's still overkill, but it's probably you'd be lucky if like, I mean, I reckon 30% of people won't take it because they're scared, and then you'll
Mm,
get, I mean, even me, I'll definitely take it first before I give it to my daughter.
yeah. Yeah, I was watching what is it? Joe Rogan with he was chatting to some journo dude, journalist, who was talking about because of the well, first of all, they don't really know what the vaccine's doing, but the actual risk of death from COVID when you're under the age of like 75 is so minimal. It's like you got a 99.8% chance of recovering. That uh, your antibodies that you build up from actually having caught it will probably be better than what you get out of a vaccine anyway.
Yeah, but it's all the secondary effects. It's
Yeah.
it's not
Oh, that was the other
it's
one. They said the secondary
it's
effects that they were originally reporting on about like children that got it and were having these long-term or that I can't remember what it was. Something about like they would get some sort of a long-term lung issue, but it turned out that was not actually true. Um,
yeah, but there's people like getting brain bleeds and stuff,
yeah,
and people are getting like semi-permanent um, taste and smell
yeah,
things, and there's people getting like they get brain fog for like months.
yeah. that
It's
tiredness. That lead singer of
yeah,
Tool, what's his name?
yeah. There's so many reports of it, and have you seen what's happening in California?
No.
Like today, they were just announcing that um, they've just given out new directives to all the ambulances, the first responders.
Mm.
Um, if it looks like the patient's not going to make it, don't bring them in. Ration your oxygen. Um,
Jesus.
they're literally setting up field hospitals.
Yeah.
It's the problem with people sort of the problem with it is that it's coming all at once.
Yeah.
So
And they also
you're
don't know
not,
how to treat it properly.
yeah, but it's not just that. It's like it's the all at once thing that's affecting everything.
Yeah.
It's like you get the flu, right? Everyone's had the flu at least once in their life.
Yeah.
It happens randomly and
Mm.
to a small amount of the population every year.
Yeah.
This will infect like what 95% of the people that it comes in contact with. Like if you stay in a room with someone with COVID, you're pretty much going to get it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the problem. It's like it's spreading through the whole population at once.
Yeah.
So your health systems are not designed to cope with that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then you,
the there's
but
also
that,
the
but
reason that they don't actually know how to treat it properly. So like what was happening, say in Malaysia here, is that a whole bunch of people are catching it, but soon as you've been caught with it, you get put into a hospital room, regardless of what your symptoms are. So even if
yeah,
all you really need is to just like go home, take some Panadol and sleep it off, you have to stay in hospital for like 2 weeks or whatever. And so now they've got like what, all 18,500 beds are completely full,
mm,
and they're having to turn people away. And I think that's what's happening in America too. It's not that there's like millions in this critical need for care. I mean, there are.
well,
There,
all the
there, there
yeah,
are.
I mean,
But
all the ICU beds are taken up.
yeah,
There's not a single ICU bed left.
yeah. But what I think what they were saying too is the way they were using ventilators or something too early in the process was causing
Yeah,
damage to the lungs.
no, that was doing really bad. That was
Um,
a big mistake when they
yeah,
first started doing it,
yeah. So
because that
so
was standard practice, I think.
yeah. Well, also because they just didn't know what quite to do.
Yeah,
They didn't know what was effective,
yeah,
and
exactly.
that's where this is really impacting as well. It's like you don't know who you can just send home. You don't know if it's like, look, if you're not over 60,
Yeah,
just don't come in. You're fine. Just go home, whatever. And then you take out a huge chunk, and then they can focus their efforts more on these, as opposed to what's happening. It's just like if you cough once and everyone thinks you've got COVID, it's like you've got the plague. This is going to be the worst thing that happened. Panic, you know.
there definitely is that, but it's spreading through the whole society.
Yeah, the
So
numbers
it's
of it.
like if I'm in a room with someone with the flu,
Yeah,
I may or may not get it.
yeah,
It's not guaranteed, and if I get it,
yeah. You
it's
may
not
already
a
have
big
an
deal.
immune
Yeah,
response
exactly.
to it. Yeah,
And I've had it so many times that it's like the bodies can handle it.
yeah,
But this is a completely random thing.
yeah.
And like, did you see that 41-year-old senator died like a couple weeks back?
No, I didn't hear
He
about that one.
literally won this. He was a Republican senator. He won the Senate seat in Texas.
Yeah.
41 years old, caught COVID, died. He only died like a week ago or something.
Oh,
And he had all the access to all the stuff Trump did, like Regeneron and like all
yeah.
the high tech antibody stuff. Still died.
Did he
41
have
years
other
old.
conditions, or did they not
I don't
disclose?
know. Who knows?
Yeah.
How do I know, dude? But this is the. I mean, you think Trump doesn't have other conditions? Is
Well, he may, but he may not have ones that are like that align with what Corona does to people. 'Cause
no, but
that's
he's obese and probably has high blood pressure and probably has high cholesterol. It's the point is,
yeah, they
it's
don't know it.
random.
Yeah,
It's random and it's going through the whole population at once. It
yeah,
was that whole thing in the beginning with the two graphs where they're like,
Yeah.
This graph's okay. This graph sucks
Yeah.
because it's like the death toll may be 0.15%, right?
Mm,
But if you get everyone in a state or everyone in a country that has COVID all at once,
yeah.
the death toll spikes because people that would normally be able to be saved can't be because they
Yeah.
can't access the health system.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting a massive
Yeah.
health emergency where you might not necessarily need one
Yeah.
because people aren't taking it seriously.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
it's also not just the Rona that's affecting people. It's like you've got all your normal stuff that's going on too, heart conditions, liver conditions that have nothing to do with Corona, but all these people are struggling to get any treatment or struggling to get checkups or any of
Yeah,
that stuff because the hospitals are swamped. But you
yeah,
also have the issue of like if you've got one of these conditions and you got to go to a hospital where it's like, you know, it's thick in the ground in that area,
yeah,
you're more likely going to catch it and then get infected anyway.
yeah. You're more worried about going
Yeah,
into a hospital.
yeah, but it's
So
just,
it's
yeah, it's
it's really
definitely,
hard, man.
yeah, it's
It's
definitely.
it's
I mean, jeez, I wouldn't know what to have done. Um,
yeah. Basically, all I'm gonna do is take the vaccine as soon as I can, and then
yeah,
breathe a sigh of relief.
well, yeah, again,
And if
um,
I'm one of the small percentage that gets like, I don't know, Bell's palsy or something, then that's gonna be me. But it's like you can't look at one-off cases. This is the same problem
yeah.
trans people have. Like you can they're trying to it's
Well,
like
it's
the
been
same
good
thing.
doing these 13 episodes with you. It's just about to get cancelled. Now go on. How are they wrong?
It's
No.
well, it's the same thing. It's like they're trying to take outlying cases
Mm,
and make it the normative. So it's like you can't say one person out of a million dies from a vaccine, so
mm.
therefore no one should take the vaccine. Um,
Yeah, but if like 10 million people are taking it, right, that's 10 people dead, and that's a statistically significant number.
is it?
No, but I
Uh,
mean, you
yeah,
can make it look like that
yeah,
in the paper pretty
yeah.
easily.
But that's exactly what they do with trans people. It's like you get
Yeah.
a small percentage of the population. You say, see, it exists.
Mm,
So that means everyone is that.
yeah. But that's also
It's
what's
like,
happening with Corona. It's like 0.2% of the population is all that's actually dying from it.
yeah, for now,
Yeah.
as long as you have a slow growth curve, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
But
like
as soon as
because it's spiked, it's just like
yeah, it's going to get worse. It's like,
300,000 dead in America. Yeah.
which is a lot. Like that's a lot of people to die in 1 year
Yeah.
for one disease. It's now the number one killer for the whole year. Like it just beat heart disease. So it's like
Yeah. But yeah.
don't bring up all these like, oh, they're told to report cases and stuff. I
Oh
know
no,
I
I
can
heard
see it ticking in your brain.
no, no, actually I heard a different story on that one. Is that the reason why like hospitals aren't making money just because they're reporting that they've got it.
No,
What's
not
actually
true.
yeah, that's what I was saying. What's actually happening
Yeah,
is that in order to better like understand the impact of this disease, they're doing a catch-all with it. So it's like anyone that dies, we test if they've got it. If they've got it in
yeah.
there, then we report that they had
That's
corona.
what I was. That's
Um,
what I was just saying.
yeah,
That's one of the main conspiracies is that anyone that had corona, no matter what they died from, is listed as having corona as a
as
death
a
cause.
cause of death. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
but it's like again, prove it. I haven't seen any death certificates. Like the,
yeah, I don't.
all we've got,
Well,
all we've got is the official numbers.
no, but also they don't actually know the disease well enough to know if this was actually the cause of death anyway, and that's why they're doing this catch-all because then they can go back and research and go, all right, well, given that we know that this is how it operates and these are the people that we found had died but also had corona, then we can start making some correlations because it's just so new. They don't know how
Well,
this thing operates well enough to know if it's actually the cause of death in all these instances.
that's a reasonable hypothesis. So it would be interesting to see if that's
Yeah,
the case.
yeah, because
Yeah.
we don't know. We just don't
We
know
don't
well
know.
enough.
That's the problem.
No, no, the people that are researching it don't have this knowledge
But that's
well
the thing.
enough.
You don't know whether they have the knowledge.
Okay, all right. Yes, the latest
Like
information that I'd
like
gotten on it was whether
yeah
or not they have it. Yeah, there's too
yeah.
much
It's like but
conflicting info out there to know what's a general
yeah.
consensus yet.
The problem is all you have is the official numbers. Like you don't have anything else. And that's always my argument with these things. Is like it's the same with the Trump stuff. Like all you have is the court case evidence, the actual transcript.
Yeah,
You, anything else is speculation and rubbish. And it's the same with the corona stuff. All
yeah,
you have is the official medical reports and the official death tolls and
yeah,
the official numbers.
yeah. But
Anything
even
else is
yeah,
speculation and rubbish
yeah,
because it's like there's no
yeah.
you
That's
can
right.
make you can make hypothesis like
Yeah,
you can you do it, but
yeah. But
the fact that so many people are spouting it as fact is really disturbing.
yeah, that no, that is pretty much what I'm getting along to
Yeah.
as well. In that it's this catching it or writing down that it's a person that has died and that they've had corona or that they've got corona is just their way of getting that like the facts down. Not to
No,
state
wait, what
whether it's
you
causing of death or whatnot. It's just more that they've had it, that
no
they were
what you have to
tested with it.
what you have to say is it may be. You can't say is.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah. And
It's like
that's all this is at the moment.
too many people are
Yeah.
saying is, and not enough people are saying maybe.
Yeah.
Because
It's
right now
more
what they're
exciting.
doing is they're writing down this person died of corona, and why they're doing that,
Mm,
no one has the information on that. Like no, unless you're directly involved with someone that's died,
right.
or unless you're the doctor or the nurse or
Mm,
someone in the medical institutes, you don't have access to the information as to why they're writing it down. Your hypothesis as to why they may be doing it is because they want to go back and study it.
oh,
Does
okay.
that make sense?
Yes.
It's like you can't say that's why they're doing it,
Okay.
which is what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, right. Right. Because there's a
Unless
lot of
they've stated that
yeah,
somewhere and I'm not aware.
unless it's an official. Well, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's all about source checking for that. Um,
yeah, and that's
the
that's the whole problem is that everyone is source poor, but they're conspiracy rich, and
yeah,
that's a lot of the media at the moment. Is
yeah.
is
Unfortunately,
is is like it's all this like oh this is why they're doing this, like Trump's doing this because he's got an evil plan to do this,
mm,
or Biden is backed by China and he's an evil communist because of this. It's
mm,
like there's so much speculative nonsense
mm,
basically that isn't stated as speculative nonsense. If you want to spout speculative stuff,
yeah. Go
say
politics.
this is
Yeah.
this is speculative.
Yeah.
Here's
Right.
what I
Right.
think.
Yeah. Right.
But too many people are going, this is why they're doing it. They're doing it because of this, this, and this. But instead of stating they may be doing it because of these things, because
Yeah.
it seems to fit this pattern,
Yeah.
like
Right. It's getting passed
it's
as fact.
yeah, and because it comes across like that to people,
Mm,
people then pass it on. Like that's how you short circuit people's brains.
okay.
It's like you become a trusted resource, and the guards get lowered in people's minds, and your memes go into their brains, and then they spout them.
Yep.
That's that's how
Yep.
you brainwash people.
Yeah. Um.
So
All right. So circling back to that point though, because the original information that I heard was, oh yeah, they're reporting on it because they're getting money from any time that somebody has corona that they're catching
yeah,
it dies.
yeah, and
However,
then that wasn't true.
no, that's not true, but we don't
Yeah,
fully understand what it is. The best or the latest information that I'd heard on it was that it's
but you
um,
can't call it information.
okay,
That's my point. The
okay,
latest speculation
the latest
as to
speculation.
what, yeah, as to
Yeah,
why they're writing COVID as the death case, as the cause of death
yeah,
is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was from a guy who'd been talking to the doctors about it, like his
Yeah,
research journal. But yes, fair enough. It's that's the latest speculation that it's what's going
yeah,
on. But what he was able to actually state by like the doctors of the hospitals were saying that it's
yeah,
like when they get a positive test for COVID, so when they
yeah,
actually find someone, then they do get a reimbursement for some
yeah,
of their medical equipment and so on.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a way of incentivizing the hospital to continue doing testing,
yeah, yeah,
but it's not about like just getting as many that you can.
yeah. It's
Um,
not about faking it to get like more money.
no, it's not about the death
Yeah,
cause. It's just
yeah,
testing a positive case of
yeah.
corona.
And that's why I find it's really interesting in today's media landscape
Oh,
because like that's people will search for an answer
mm.
that fits their bias already.
Did I tell you
So
about this last week? Um, about what's happening, or like, okay, another speculation, but an interesting one
yeah,
was that this whole like fake narrative media spin is basically the backlash of Trump's entire presidency because he's been spouting off whatever he feels like, whenever he
mm,
feels like, and knows that he can just keep talking and saying when it's obviously a lie. Like it started
yeah,
as soon as he got elected. It's like it was the biggest gathering ever for any, and everyone's like, "What are
yeah,
you talking about, dude?" But he just kept doing it over and over, and then like
yeah,
the press started going, "Well, it doesn't seem to matter what we say. He just keeps pumping out whatever narrative he feels like."
yeah,
And so in order to start countering that, they just started pumping out whatever narrative they felt like.
yeah,
And so that was the way to combat his like his own fake news, his basically blatant
yeah,
lying, because he blatantly was lying about a lot of stuff. He was just
yeah,
saying
yeah,
whatever he
definitely.
felt like. Um, but now that he's like trying to say no, I have evidence, blah blah blah, about about election fraud and all this stuff. He's that he the idea now that the media is just sticking to whatever narrative they feel like is a result because they no longer need to actually prove or stick to facts because the way that the information is being passed has changed.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, it's like when someone discovers a new, more efficient pathway to
yeah,
affect, control, and
yeah,
disseminate their point of view.
yeah.
It kind
Unfortunately,
of
yeah,
it
unfortunately,
everyone then has to do that.
yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah,
you can't fight the system without it. Unfortunately, what's
yeah,
happening is that you're getting all the censorship that's coming along with it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the
It's
part
the
that's
censorship is the worst bit,
mm,
and that's going to be the worst bit of the Democratic presidency.
yeah,
And it's it it's going to get worse. You're going to get you're literally going to get these people pandering to like it's going to have you listened to 1984 yet? No.
I'm like 20 minutes in of my
Oh,
10
okay. Well,
hours.
you
Yeah.
get to this bit where like people are getting programmed how to
Spoilers!
speak.
Spoilers!
Sorry, sorry, sorry.
No, I've heard so many references to
Whoop
1984.
whoop whoop. Yeah, spoilers. No, and that's exactly what happens when you start curbing free speech is
Yeah.
that you get a form of speech that is sanitized to fit the narrative of how they want you to speak,
Mm.
and you lose the ability to say anything. I think we talked about this
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, we have.
Yeah,
I
we
heard
and then you.
interestingly about that this happened already in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
That like they went through a period of like maybe 7 to 10 years where this sort of a like movement towards the
Like
socialism and
the wokeness.
yeah, basically that they've already been through this previously.
Yeah,
But like
wouldn't have.
because history is kind of like getting dampened down and then information's not
Mm,
getting passed around much, they just lose the fact that that even happened and how much of a problem it was.
yeah, and also it probably wasn't that effective. effective without social media.
No,
Like
I mean like the rise of we all heard about it growing up how the news was pumping out its own propaganda and its own stories when it was giving information
yeah,
previously, and we're like, oh yeah, you can't trust this channel anymore, or you can't
yeah,
trust
yeah,
that newspaper because they're too left-leaning or right-leaning or whatnot. Um, but you didn't have the ability to go into everyone's home to the extent
yeah.
that it is now, especially
Well,
since we're so addicted to the phones and stuff.
yeah. Well, think about Twitter, right? Twitter now is curating stuff, right? They're like writing stuff under Trump's tweets. They're banning people
Yep,
for saying stuff.
yep,
They're taking things down. So what you're ending up with without understanding it when you first join is not people's pure ideas. It's like it's not people's pure thoughts and
yeah,
decisions. You're getting a curated Twitter type of conversation.
yeah,
Like a conversation only Twitter, like you can only talk how Twitter wants you to talk.
yeah,
And because so many people are doing it on Twitter, it can get assumed that is what people are actually like
yeah,
and what people are actually talking about. Whereas in reality, people are far more like obtuse and
yeah,
inappropriate, and it's
yeah. But if you do it with enough control, you end up with like a communist dictatorship.
exactly. And because you the key thing that I was going to say was that you with once you because now you've got people doing it to themselves.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I can report you for on Twitter for being a bad person, and yeah, it's that's what happens. Is like it's that's a very communist idea is turning in the the non-believer or the dissident.
yeah,
That's like go to the Stasi and tell them
yeah.
tell, tell the secret police where they live. It's like what's happening with COVID. Like, I don't know if you saw the video of like in England, there was
No.
like a group of people having a party in a house, and the neighbor called, um,
Oh,
dobbed
yeah.
them in, and then the cops came in and just like
Well,
burst
brutal
in,
about it.
started
Yeah,
dragging people out and like screaming at them and stuff. And it was just a bunch of old English people. And I was like, what are you guys doing?
yeah. This is just for the flu.
It's, yeah, yeah, and it's not even that. It's like these are people. Like it's
Yeah,
like you all of a sudden you give people power. It's exactly that. What's
yeah.
that
Uh,
psychological experiment?
not Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, the one where they made people jailers and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I can't
exactly.
remember the name of that one, but yeah,
It's
yeah,
exactly that.
yeah,
It's like you've got these poor people who, yes, may have taken a risk,
yeah,
and yes, probably should get fined or some sort of slap on the wrist,
yeah,
but it definitely shouldn't be. We're going to come in and kick your door in and drag people out into the snow and start punching you if you
yeah,
resist.
yeah. Oh, it's like our shopping center security guards nowadays.
Yeah.
They're just like got such an inflated sense of power. It's like you can't do that. Yes I can. No, you can't. Dude, no, no.
Uh,
I was like,
that's,
whoa.
that's funny, actually. My wife was saying we saw one of the security guards for Casuarina,
Mm.
and she's like, that one always walks around like he's guarding Hillary or something.
Yeah,
Like he just takes it so seriously.
yeah, yeah. It's been given a bunch of power.
Yeah,
Well, no, he's been given a bunch of responsibility, but
yeah.
like, yeah,
He gets to interpret the power.
yeah, yeah.
So
Where's
it's
his accountability?
yeah,
Yeah, that's,
and it's like 3 months ago, the police were battening um, Black Lives Matter people and arresting them and all that sort of stuff.
mm,
1 week ago, they started battening the Proud Boy people and pepper spraying them, and
yeah,
everyone just started cheering. Like it's like it's not
yeah,
how it works.
yeah,
It's one.
yeah,
You should be booing the violence. Like you shouldn't be like taking a side. Like
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they can actually manage to get out of, because from from the reports that I'm hearing, that the regardless of what happens today, that neither side will probably accept the results anyway, and then it'll drag on to January the 20th when it finally will finish up.
Yeah, well, that's constitutional.
Yeah,
So in the Constitution, it says that the new president starts on the 21st.
yeah,
So there's nothing they can do about that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So it's just
so
gonna keep kicking and screaming, but like, yeah,
yeah, it's actually destroyed him. Like it's destroyed him. It's destroyed the
oh, you never
Republican
know, man.
Party.
He could still win it. Could still win it. We've got to
Yeah,
just see the evidence come out. That's the thing. Once the evidence comes out,
evidence can only come out in court.
oh man,
Conspiracies and ideas can come out any other time.
I must admit the
Uh,
everything they've been posting up about the Dominion voting machines. I would like to see that one put to rest, because like the for
well,
me,
think about it this way.
uh,
Let's think about it this way. You are hearing one side of it.
sure,
The only way you hear two sides of it is in a courtroom.
yeah,
So there's no way, like everything is so well polished now that no matter which side you listen to, you will start to agree with it.
yeah, sure, but
And
this is
that's
why the
why I stay away from it.
yeah, now this is why the Dominion one is an interesting point for me, because for me, like from the tech side of it, the machines don't lie. Whereas like if you've got human testimony and it's like, oh, they didn't do that and they did, it's like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know who's paying you or what's going on. Whereas like the machines have a log, it's all written down there, it's coded on,
Yeah,
and
but it's getting shown to you by a human. They're like literally going, this is a Dominion voting machine. Do you
yeah,
know what a Dominion voting machine is?
it's a voting machine.
Have you ever seen like a real one?
No,
Have you seen the insides of a real one? Have you seen the logs of a real one?
no,
It's like
no, but
all of this
like,
stuff is
yeah,
it can be fabricated and cannot be trusted on video. It's like there is no way to trust any of these videos. Like they all have to be discounted until it gets presented in a courtroom and you have both sides discussing it.
yeah, well, yeah,
There's no way to like
yeah,
I
no, no, no,
yeah
I agree
it's
with that. What I'm saying is like as far as like evidence goes, because a lot of what it sounded like Trump's cases were based on was just purely anecdotal stuff. It was people's testimony, and they say, yeah, but once you've got enough people testifying to the same thing, it becomes more like fact. It's like it
yeah
does, but it also doesn't. But like
yeah
when
exactly
you drag a machine out and it just spits out its data, that's where you've actually got some hard evidence to look at, and that alone
yeah
you could just be like, all right, we've seen what you were talking about, it's not
yeah
there, give it a
yeah
rest, let it go.
exactly
Whereas like if it's
and
people, it's like they just weren't listening to me in court and I was trying to tell
no
the
I
story,
agree
and it's like, yeah, whatever, that's your story,
yeah
but
I agree
here's the
I
actual
totally agree with
facts.
that
Yeah,
yeah
so
no
for
I
me,
totally agree with that if you can get that in a courtroom
yeah,
and have some sort of expert testimony of what is in a Dominion voting machine and how it was manipulated
yeah,
um, under oath and it gets proven,
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah,
And even if it's wrong and it gets the judgment goes against them,
mm,
that's also fine.
yeah, exactly,
Because it's like, but you can't. The problem that we're having is we're getting. What did Rowan Atkinson say about woke stuff a couple of days ago?
get woke,
It's a
go
mob.
broke.
It's
Oh.
no. Rowan Atkinson was like, it's the modern equivalent of mobs burning witches. It's like
Yeah,
that's literally what's happening.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
on everything.
Yep,
Because everything is such high production value now.
yep,
Like you just it's so hard to tell.
yeah,
Like and like by the time you're watching one video means that you've already heard three or four bits of conversation and
mm,
it's primed you and then you see the evidence and you're like, "Oh my God."
yep,
And then prompts you to go to the next one and the next one, and then
Yeah,
you read articles, and then it's like, but it's all captured you in this like media bubble.
yeah, yeah.
And
You're not
because there's
presented with like
only a
another.
few media bubbles,
Yeah, yeah. You're not presented with like an alternative path out.
yeah,
It's like it has
yeah,
to be all this, therefore it must go that way. It's like, yeah, but it's actually going off that direction. So,
yeah,
you know, unless you actually
yeah,
stop and look at that. But yeah, I mean that's why half the news I'm not caught up with because I don't watch
yeah,
much of that. I do like this particular couple of shows that I watch, and they are very Trump conspiracy leaning stuff.
yeah.
Um,
And it's great, but
but but
it's
they also do encapsulate that with this is just based on what's being presented by lawyers and things at the moment, but none of this is actually set in stone. We realize that this may still actually fall apart. We have to, so they are like, they're not
yeah,
stating it as gospel truth, they're just presenting these ideas
yeah,
up. But the problem is like there's some of these are live streams and the people like that are on the live they're just ranting and ranting on there and you can't help it every now and then your eyes are looking at it and you're
yeah,
like oh my god yes
yeah,
how big is
exactly.
this how far does it go the other
Yeah,
problem too is that there is a bunch of corruption going on you do
yep,
have like especially with the CCP and everything the shenanigans they're getting up to
yeah. I mean,
and
the fact that Apple tried to get a clause written out about slave labor,
yeah, I love that one.
I was
It's
like,
gonna
what?
cost us more if we don't use slaves. Come on. Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, it's so weird,
Oh
man.
man. So you're using Apple, right? So you
Of course. I'm
love.
literally on an iPad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, the thing is,
those,
the thing is that it's using slave labor. Why is it still so expensive?
I think I see a slave tier on
Yeah,
here.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's sort of like, oh yeah, that's the suffering. Oh, that's the good stuff. But yeah, like, how is it still so expensive? You're not even
Yeah,
paying your employees.
exactly.
Why am I still paying top dollar?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. But yeah, this is the thing. It's this.
yeah.
There's so much hypocrisy on every level.
Oh,
It's so easy to then just believe anything.
yeah. Yeah, no, I
And
was
my
hearing one.
only, the only defense I've found
Mm,
is to just disbelieve it all, allow it to allow it to be there,
mm,
but not make it my personality.
no, correct. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for
and
sure.
because then what happens is then it comes out of your mouth,
Yeah,
and once that happens, then that gets perpetuated,
yeah,
and it's like, which is what I was my point was before. It's like you
yeah,
have to have you have to be the fire break
yeah,
to all the nonsense and be like, yeah, that's what someone said.
yeah.
It's like, because me personally in this house with an access to the internet and some books
Mm,
have no way to prove any of this.
no,
It's literally all coming through media.
yeah,
Like I have no first-hand knowledge. I don't even have second-hand knowledge of stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've
Yeah, I don't actually know anyone who's had corona.
yeah,
Um,
me either.
and I don't know anyone that's part of the American political party or the CCP or
Yeah,
yeah,
and this is the problem. It's like there's like it's too easy to say this is what happened when you're literally just passing on someone else's message.
yeah. Now the way I look at it, right, because obviously as the major powers move around and do their positioning and stuff, like they're not focusing on what I'm doing. They don't
No,
care what I'm doing so much. I mean, there is a little bit of, recording of what I'm saying and doing and being fed back
yeah,
into a system that's profiling me. Sure, I get that. But at the same time, they don't really care because I don't have much money, I don't have any influence or power and so on. Sure,
yeah,
if I started making big bucks and getting big followings behind me, more interest would go on me. But
yeah,
what I need to do is more look at it like I'm in a little rowboat and there's giant icebergs floating around. It's like doesn't matter
Yeah.
what I do, so long as I'm not getting crushed between the two of them, I'm fine with it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
really, what I should be doing is just watching where they're moving and make sure I'm not getting in the way. And
Yeah.
that's
That's a good
pretty
way to
much
look
how
at it.
this information wars and everything's going. It's like,
Mm.
yes, I understand that there is a vaccine available. I do understand it is in trial stage. I also understand that Pfizer, I don't think, is liable for any suing or anything like that because
Yeah.
its cure was pushed through, and understandably so because of the number of people that are getting killed by this corona. So they wanted something to like safeguard the elderly and the sick and so on.
Yeah.
And fair enough, those people should definitely take the vaccine. There is the ongoing concern about whether or not it's actually going to be long-term effects on it. So
Mm.
my role in all of this is not to go out and condemn the vaccine because I have no idea what it does.
Mm.
Um, my role is to just kind of wait and try and gather more information and try not to just jump straight in and get it. But should it come that like when I want to travel back to Australia, I need to get the vaccine, sure, yeah, give me the vaccine, fine.
Yeah.
Because
My idea is I'm gonna test it because
on
I
who,
I
dude? You
I
can
have a lot of,
you can literally make test subjects. You know what I'm saying? You've already made one.
as they go to stick the needle in my arm, I'll throw my daughter over there. But no,
uh,
the I I doubt that they would do something so stupid as to make something incredibly dangerous. I understand that there will be some percentage of risk,
yeah,
but I think it will be lower than catching corona. So that's why I'm gonna take it.
yeah, it could be. It might not be. I really don't know that one.
Oh,
I
it
think
might not
it's
be
a
for me,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a percentage thing. So it's just like
I think it's a roll of the dice
if I,
either way. But
yeah,
from what I
exactly.
understand, like a person in our age bracket that we don't drink or smoke, we're pretty
Mm,
healthy.
speak for
E-
yourself. Yep.
either one. Oh, okay. So you got a cigar and a bottle of scotch there off screen. Oh dear. Yeah, it's fairly unlikely that we'll get negative impacts from either one. Speaking
Yeah.
of, sorry, this is changing topic then quite a lot.
Yeah.
Alcohol. Do
Yeah.
you drink at all, or
No,
you never touched a
I
drop
haven't.
since
No,
monastery days?
since yeah. Well, I think I had a couple beers. I might have been it
Yeah, right.
when I first came out, but that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I, 'cause I didn't touch anything for like quite a few years, and then I think I got into a job I really didn't like and started and
Mm,
had a bunch of drinks, but stopped it again a lot. But like I have a few every now and then, but like
mm-hmm.
by every now and then I mean a couple times a year.
Oh, okay, you're going to hell. That's good. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I mean it's a party this. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, I get the worst headaches from just
Oh,
touching
really?
any of it now. Yeah, like wine,
Mm,
beer, spirit. I just like I had one shot of whiskey for I think it was like Christmas Eve or something like that, and I was just like I just can't do this at all anymore.
yeah.
And
It's but see, I
Ramira,
was never a drinker before I went to the monastery. This is the thing. It wasn't much of
no,
a change.
no, no.
Like because my parents didn't drink,
Mm,
so I never really drank. So
yep.
it kind of becomes yeah. It was
Yeah, you don't miss it, so
yeah. I've never really
no.
like I've drunk socially before I went to the monastery. So
Yeah,
after I was just like I just won't do it.
yeah, yeah. I
So it's
mean,
not much effort for me.
yeah, for me, it's not. Oh, it's definitely not an effort to not drink. I don't
Mm,
crave drinking or drug taking
yeah.
or any of that. I would still like to try some psychedelics, but only for like I want to do it in the sense of like trying it in a
Science.
spiritual setting. Like I want to see.
Just for science.
No, no, no. It's purely recreational, but no, it's like because of these people, I want to see for myself the actual effects of the psychedelics when
Mm,
you're actually trying to develop
yeah,
yourself spiritually. Does it do anything? Does it not? People talk about it. Is at least if I can from first-hand experience, do because I only ever tried it recreationally. So at least if
yeah,
I can try it in a different setting like that, I go, okay, yes or no. But
yeah.
regardless, I don't have any craving for that. If I don't do it, I don't care.
Mm,
But with the alcohol one, if I have a drink while other people are drinking, that's okay. I don't want to like have any hang-ups about it. But it's gotten to the point where I just cannot even have a sip of anything. Um, if
yeah,
I have it in food, I've got to cook the alcohol out to leave a bit of the flavor left and so on.
yeah.
So yeah, Ramira has made a decision to not drink this year because she
Okay.
also had some and she was just like, nah, I felt crap
Mm,
for days afterwards. It is a poison because we so rarely ever drank anyway. When we did have some, you feel like you really feel your body trying to get rid of the poison out of you. Like it's like, I
yeah,
have had a headache for 2 days. I have felt low in energy. I am feeling all this.
yeah,
And it's like, that's not how I've been feeling every day for the past few months. And the only thing that changed was the fact that I tried a bit of this alcohol stuff.
yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the benefits have to outweigh the cost.
Yeah,
Like, it's that's the thing. It's like you have to get either mental or social relief,
yeah,
um, more than the suffering that you're going to get the next day.
yeah. But I mean, like for myself, because we've been doing meditation so long, um, even getting any impacts of like alcohol, I don't want to lose my clarity
Yeah,
of mind, and so I'm just like sitting there going, okay, I feel a little bit alright, but I don't want to have any more. And
yeah,
yeah, I'm going to go have some water and some food and just try and ride out this headache that's coming that I can feel starting to set in. Because oh
yeah.
man,
So
it's
that's quite
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how much you notice it impacting. And okay, I didn't have much. It was literally like that, just that shot. It might have been
But
one and a half.
I wonder if it's because of the mindfulness. Yeah, like
I
like
don't.
the awareness of your body's functioning. Whereas if you're less mindful, you're more just noticing the lack of anxiety.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I do notice like I remember like one of the like I think I smoked pot way back in 2002 or something, so nearly 20 years ago. Um, and it was like the last one that I'd had, and well, in a very long time. And I remember that one. My meditation was getting better and better. Like I was getting more and more out of it. And then I smoked that, and then it was just like, oh, I really don't want to lose my clarity from this. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go. I grabbed a book, sat in a corner somewhere, and just read and just waited for it to pass. And I was like, that was the point where I was like, no, I am not gonna do this
yeah.
stuff anymore. There's no point.
I'm sure I told you about the muffin at my dad's wake plenty of times.
Oh
I
yeah,
probably even said it on here.
don't remember that on here.
Where I like was at my dad's wake,
Oh,
and the next day I went into the fridge and there was some muffins. I just ate one for
yeah,
breakfast
of
because I
course.
didn't know any
It's
better.
a muffin.
And like a couple hours later, we're all just sitting around talking, and my everything start. I like break into a sweat. Everything starts going. I start getting paranoid. I'm like, what's going on? I've been poisoned or something. Something's happening to my body. And I
Yeah,
was like going through all the symptoms and I'm like trying to think of what's happening. And then it just clicked. I'm like, stoned. Okay. And then I like relaxed. But I did the same thing. I just went and sat in the room and read comics.
yeah.
So it was like, wow, that was really unpleasant.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like, why are we doing this for enjoyment before? But like
Yeah,
once your mindfulness is present in it, it's just,
yeah. And I
yeah,
think it's got to do with the ritual. Because I remember like so many of these things become rituals.
Yeah.
and you get the prophylactic. Um, is it prophylactic? No, you get the
Isn't that like protection?
yeah, no, you get the what is it? The
Oh yeah, placebo.
placebo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get the high before you get high.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
you
that's
like
true.
you get your items out, you get it out,
Mm,
you roll it, you stuff it in. You know, it's like it's like a ritual that you perform
mm.
to get your mind happy.
Yeah. Um, I think this is what I've been thinking about in terms of like when people are chasing, well, basically whatever they're chasing in life is that happiness, is that release state of mind. The one where you basically just no longer have to be in control of things because you're
Mm.
at ease. Um, but like that state of mind is in small ways entwined in just about everything that people are really chasing. And so, like, I always put it in terms of um, goal setting because the work that I do with people, it's like I try and understand why they're doing the particular behaviors they're doing.
Yeah,
So it's like, why is that person, um, I don't know, seeking those? Uh, let's make a scenario. You got the weekend free. Uh, you, you say like our nerd days back in the day, or even still, it's like I've got a bunch of hours free. What's
yeah,
that thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get like the Mountain Dew or whatever soft drink. I'm gonna get some pizza, and we're just gonna go
yeah,
hardcore nerd gaming
yeah,
for the next 4 hours, and it's gonna be so awesome. And in your mind, you're building up that placebo high, but you're also
yeah,
what you're trying to get into is that point where you're such in this place of happiness that you're releasing like control into this free point of freedom basically. You're like
yeah.
free
So
to just experience joy coming in because this is your the best thing that you've found that can produce that effect.
yeah, you're getting into some present moment awareness.
Yeah, present moment awareness without the nature of any control on top of that. It's just like this is going into your happy place. So
Yeah,
you're just
yeah,
you're doing more experiencing than you are having to put effort out. So you're getting back
yeah,
more than you're having to put in.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the same way where like especially for Australians and stuff, it's like what are you going to do this? Well, I've finished all my work. I've been paid. I'm gonna like buy a full slab of beer or and a couple of bottles of Jack or something. And I'm just gonna get completely wasted and that sort of thing. But like you're not chasing the being drunk. You're chasing that being able to let go because like
yeah.
that's
You're
what gets you to that point of just releasing everything.
yeah. Again, it comes back to a ritual. So
Yeah,
you have to perform. It's like OCD. It's like you have to perform these steps
yeah,
before you the anxiety drops,
yeah, yeah. So
right? And that's what OCD is, isn't it? It's like you have to you're obsessively you're compulsively forced to perform certain actions to relieve anxiety,
yeah, I think
or
so.
you're dri
Yeah. Yeah, to some
right? And
extent,
so
yep. I don't know it fully, to be honest. I haven't
yeah,
read it up for
that's
a while,
my
but
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, that's my non-clinical understanding of
yep,
it. But to a certain point, like that's the same with everyone. It's like you have to perform these certain rituals
yeah,
and then you get into your Zen space
yeah,
for that period of time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what like so when you do the meditation, that kind of gives you a more refined path into that because you
yeah,
can now just like you don't have to use all this external triggers stuff to get you in that setup. You can just internalize all of that and go, all right, if I just close my eyes and start doing the breathing, but you have to like then go inwards and go, all right, these are all the things that I've been juggling around in my head. I'm going to put them all down so that I can just focus on that one object.
yeah,
Um, however, this is what I don't know if it's just me here doing this. I'm finding
yeah.
like
It's just you.
the longer that I've been doing that, the more I've become complacent with it because it's not giving the same return as what it was doing when I was first practicing. And so
You're not
now,
seeing the gains, or you're not
yeah,
returning to the
basically,
same. But I mean, are you relatively more calm than you were, but you are no longer progressing, or are you no longer able to reach the same height?
um,
Or does that make sense? It's
yeah,
like,
it does.
because
So
it's like when you first, sorry, yeah, like when you first like start and you give up things,
yeah,
feels great,
yeah,
and it's like an easy step.
yeah,
And then it gets harder and harder and harder as you try and give up more and more refined objects, and
yeah,
like, to the point where you can't even see them
yeah,
in your head.
yeah.
Um, but what Ajahn Brahm always says is like the tide rises. So it's like you you're like the tide's risen
Mm,
because you've let go of so much stuff,
mm,
and that stays there.
yeah,
Whereas the not being able to, you're kind of talking about the moment where you discover a new level
yeah,
of inner peace is stopping.
yeah,
So you're kind of plateauing,
yeah,
but you've risen so far already. Is what my point is.
yeah.
It's
But
not like you're falling back.
I
You know, does that make does that
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's not like you're suffering like you were when you were younger
No, no,
before
no,
you started.
no. The
Does
wisdom
that make
hasn't
sense?
left.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Like
it's
kind of putting the steps in place in order to get whatever little bit of
yeah,
moments of peace that I've managed to accumulate is still like achievable in that sense. But what happens is the same like drinking, whatever, is the tolerance has built up to it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so it's just like that no longer becomes a pursuit, or it doesn't
yeah.
become as strong a pursuit as what it used to be. But then there's nothing else that also compares to that in the worldly sense. There's easier things that give you a lesser happiness,
Mm,
like gaming and eating food and whatever, those short-term dopamine rush activities. Um, and the only reason why those are appealing is because they're easier.
yeah, yeah.
But
I understand what you mean. I agree. It's like it's kind of like when I was in the monastery
mm,
and I was getting massive gains at first
mm,
because I had like I was like a zealot. So it's like it was just meditation, meditation, meditation,
mm,
meditation. Don't talk to me, don't talk to me, meditation, meditation.
yeah,
And but eventually, um, I remember one time talking to Arjun about it, and I was like, oh, like I was like sitting there and I had to pee, and I wouldn't let myself pee because I was like feeling restless, so I was like just sit there through it, and then all of a sudden it was like building up in my head, building up in my head, and then it just deflated, and I got this like massive sense of like happiness.
because
And
you
I
peed
don't,
or
no, because
oh
I was like, I
ah
just sat through. I like managed to like let go of the sense of like anxiety that was building
oh
up, and
yes yeah
and like that sense of like get up, get up, get
yeah
up. And I was expecting Arjun Bum to go, oh, that's really cool, but he was like, yeah, but what happens if the wind blows the fire the other direction? And it's like, what happens if your willpower isn't strong enough to withstand the push
oh
back? So it's
uh,
it's it's kind of what happens. It's like willpower will only take you so far,
yeah
and then you have to use wisdom. So you have to, and it's much slower because you can no longer do meditation. Like you can no
mm,
longer decide to do things. It just has to like arise. And yeah,
yeah
that's
yeah
what I've found anyway. It's
yeah
it's
okay so that's good because on that is what I'm finding is like it's plateauing, right?
Yeah,
And so my intent and interest in getting into it is not as much as it used to be. But I think, was it either last time we spoke or the time before, we talked about the gamification of
yeah,
of
yeah,
activities.
yeah,
Um, that's basically like a change in approach that I've taken to this meditation in itself. It's like you need the wisdom, you need the understanding and the insight. So what is it that's still causing these blocks and like or the prevention from the meditation from getting further? And from what I'm understanding, this is why I'm bringing it up because I don't fully know it, is that you have that what Ajahn calls the knower and the doer aspects of your mind, and you're
yeah,
supposed to let go of the doer. And the way he
yeah,
used to talk about it was like you've got the pond and you've got your hand in the water, and that's the
yeah,
hand in the water is the doer, and you're trying to use the hand to still down the pond, and the pond is
yeah,
like your mind or it's the knower part.
yeah,
And what you need to do is actually just take the hand out.
yeah,
It's not about
exactly.
making it calm, it's about removing it and letting the ripples calm on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
However, that must mean then that you should be able to identify the part of your mind that is the doer.
No. Well, it does, but you don't do it.
No, you don't
That's the point.
you, you don't you don't make the doer stop, but you do identify it so that you can stop picking it up or
No,
stop using it.
you see it,
Yeah, you see it.
and that's all you need to do.
Well, yeah, right. So that must mean that you can see that part of your own mind, right? The part
Yeah,
that's like
when you're still enough.
continuously,
Yeah, when you're
yes.
still enough, you will see it, and then it will stop because that's the only way it happens. There's no other process.
Yeah, because you can't actually will the will to stop. You have to see the
Yeah,
will.
and
See.
it's also the whole thing is there's no more steps. It's like that's
Yeah,
because a
that's
step
that's
is
that's
a
the
doing,
removing the hand out of the water. The rest
but
is just the
the hand
process.
removes this itself.
Okay.
In fact, the hand dissolves in front of you. It
All right.
doesn't even do anything. It just
All right. Is
dissolves.
that something that you've been able to experience?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I was getting into. But it's
All right.
so
All right. Now
you
describe this
watch your
part for me, because I feel like I'm seeing that part when I'm doing the meditation. Like I'm
yeah,
identifying the different knowing and doing parts. That doing is very disruptive. It's very
yeah,
disruptive. But once I see it, it's just like it's kind of floating there doing its own thing, but it's no longer in the water.
yeah. You see, that's what I mean. It extracts itself. It disappears. It doesn't. It no longer. If you see yourself, once you see yourself doing something, especially thinking,
Yeah,
once you see yourself thinking,
yeah,
it stops. And I used to see a specific part in my brain where
yeah,
the thoughts were coming from.
yeah,
And then I would like just watch them come out and they would stop.
yeah.
And it's the shining the light, the looking, that's all you have to do
Mm.
all the way through the whole thing. There's no other step. Like there literally is no other step to meditation than looking at stuff.
Because the looking part becomes passive once you remove the hand. That's the thing.
See, I
Or
mean,
that's what it that's what it
that's
feels
probably a
like.
language thing that you're using,
Right,
but
right.
you don't remove the hand. The hand disappears. And that's what I mean. It's like you're if you see the hand and then you go to remove it,
No.
that's just the hand trying to remove itself.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
It's more once I know it's there, then it's just then it's no longer interacting with my awareness part. Like it's more like my knowing or awareness part of my mind is seeing it as a process occurring, but it's no longer in the driver's seat kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. That's how you remove it. But it just removes itself. It's like all you have to do is sit there, and the only way you sit there is have enough happiness. So the only way you endure the sitting there watching
Yeah.
is by having enough happiness to stay still.
Yes, which you build up through.
consistent mindfulness.
Yeah, right.
There's no other path. Like, there's nothing else you can do. It's like the problem is that this process is so simple you can't see it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's that's the problem. It's like it's not the problem isn't that you haven't read the 600 book on meditation. The problem is that the process is so simple that you could write it down in like 3 or 4 words, and you can't see it because you're not still enough.
yeah.
So it's like you have to be at a certain level of stillness before you even see the process.
Mm,
That's the whole problem. It's like the it's
mm,
it's like because before that all you're doing is using faith.
yeah,
Like it's like that's all you're doing. It's like you're just like someone said that this was going to make me happy. Let's try it.
yeah, right.
And it's like and then it's only once you reach a certain level of samadhi that you then can gain the panya, which is
Yeah,
why
that just
Vipassana
means
meditation.
concentration and wisdom, by the way. This isn't for the noobs. You
Yeah,
go read a book, man.
yeah,
Our one loyal follower.
yeah. Go be a monk for 6 years.
Oh dear. Yeah,
If anyone's made it this far, well done.
yeah, yeah. Because that's the one thing. Like for me, because it's so, because it's plateauing, stagnating, whatever. Because I've become tolerant to the state of meditation I'm getting to. The whole gamification, like working out the puzzle part, has what's made it interesting or exciting. But what it's led to is that seeing of the doing part of the mind, and then the process of letting that part go. But
Yeah,
then realizing, realizing that that's the step means that there's no more activity, there's no more gamification that I can do in that.
yeah, yeah, precisely.
It's
Yeah,
just like I just sit there. It's like, oh,
yeah.
okay, now I just have
There's,
to wait for that to.
yeah, there's no more activities.
Yeah. So all really, I guess, I think this is what Arjan kept banging on about, was that what you do is you set up your determinations before the meditation.
Yeah, yeah, and it's precisely what takes you into a jhana, and then what ends the jhana is the 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 level of concentration you obtain. So it's like you don't get to decide that.
Mm,
It's just how far the process went in, and then how far the process comes out.
right. Yeah. Right.
You're not there anymore. It's like there's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
You just. It's like all there is looking. There's nothing else.
Yeah. 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 It's yeah. That's a sucky one because the initial part of that, it's like it was super interesting. I'm like, oh my
So
god.
much fun. I
Yeah.
was like learning Pali, and I was like
Yeah.
reading the suttas, and yeah, it's like cool
Got
fun.
got the full ordination, and then yeah, it's like, oh wait, the
Yeah,
job is to not do.
yeah.
Oh, but it's like, yeah, that's just it. It's like, well, now I know that that's what I'm getting into. That's just, I need to find a way to make the process of going to do that interesting, because otherwise I'm not
Just
sitting down.
just don't do anything. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But
See,
if I'm not
see,
doing
just
anything and not worrying about it, what I end up doing is I'm playing Magic the Gathering online, and I'm playing.
doesn't matter. This is what I was talking to Arjun about ages ago. I was like, is there predetermined path to enlightenment? Because if there is no self,
Yeah,
then there's no way for you to become enlightened,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
correct.
it has to have
There is the
already it
path,
has
but
to
no
already
walker.
be in
Yeah,
motion. It has to already be in motion. You're either going to be or you're not going to be. And
yeah,
there is no way it's like a think of a planet heading or say a star, make it even more interesting.
yeah,
say a star is heading towards a black hole
Yeah.
and it's going to enter the event horizon,
Yeah.
right? But it's going to be tangential.
Right.
So you no longer know whether it's going to dip into the black hole and be absorbed or it's going to just like tangent off and use its momentum and shoot off.
Mm.
That's the only two choices. You either dip in and become enlightened or you shoot off and go back into samsara. There's no other there's no other choices.
But you don't have any control over that.
No.
Well, I'm gonna go eat a tub of ice cream then. And
Well, that's what Arjun said. He says that's why he was always like, stop worrying, stop being so hard. Like, there's nothing you can do. It's like all you can do is watch and just see what your mind does.
yeah,
Like the reason why you're playing Magic is most likely because you're trying to go sit.
yeah, that's what I was bringing up. It's like everything that people are doing is to try and find that point where you're letting go.
Yeah,
Because in
but
that,
you
I'm least focused because I don't have to like think much. I know the game so well. I'm just like click. I have a
yeah
podcast going. My attention is split over a few areas, and I'm not actually focusing on anything. And it's a reasonably pleasant state.
you're better having a 100% backed sit by your mind than 100. Well, this is my time to sit, so I go sit
Mm, yeah,
meditation.
yeah, I guess so.
It's like because once everything lines up, it's like a deep shot into meditation.
Mm,
Or like
yeah, I guess so.
the mind wants to be still because that's where happiness is. So
Yeah,
it it will eventually try and be still,
yeah,
and it's learning to watch that.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the other thing. It's like if you it's always like it feels like it's floating around the edge of awareness at that point, like when the doing is pulling off. There's like a slow build in energy,
Mm.
but like not fully understanding or knowing what that is. I don't know where that leads.
Yeah, I don't know either. All I know is when I do it, when I meditate,
Mm.
like I get so much more benefit out of it than if I tried to force myself to meditate.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah, right.
and it's it's funny because it's so easy. Again, like I said, it's so subtle.
Mm.
You don't need any instructions.
Well, I
Like
didn't
it's
even know that part of my mind existed. Like, I went through the
yeah,
whole separation of the sense bases stuff. I
yeah,
spent years on that, like, just trying to put my attention fully into vision, for example. And it's like, to
yeah,
the point where I was not hearing any sound because I was just observing vision. And there is no sound
yeah,
in vision, for example. And
yeah,
then the same with the bodily sensations and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's super interesting. That's the separation of the bases of the senses and then into the sense of the base of the mind itself, and then trying to see within the mind where each of the bodily senses fit within that, and then like the imagination sits in that as well. It's like, oh, this is all super interesting. It's all floating around, but like, what's this knower doer combination? And it wasn't until like it just happened one time. I'm just sitting
mm,
there and it's just like, oh, that's the doer, and then it's like, oh, that's a separation between those two.
yeah,
But then when that part was let go, that was the part where it was like, I can no longer do anything here.
yeah. There's nothing to do.
Well, it's not that there's nothing to do. There's nothing you can do
Yeah,
because the only part that does is this thing you've just let go of.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, ah,
That's how you get into jhana.
yeah, well, eventually. But I
Yeah,
can't. Yeah. Well, okay, great. Well, the way you've just said it, it's like, well, I have no control over when that happens anymore. That's all I can do is just
yeah,
sit back and wait for that to drift away and still down.
yeah. And the problem is that what the doer will interpret that as is, well, then I'll go do this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Oh, I've
that's
been
that's
watching it do that. It's just like, oh, this
yeah,
thing's changed. How do I then relate to it now? It's like, no, you
yeah,
don't. You don't do anything. Oh,
yeah,
okay, but it's changed. It's like, oh, jeez.
yeah. Did I ever tell you when I got a nimitta at a meditation retreat?
I think so. Something about you open your eyes and I was there or something,
Yeah,
but I
so
don't remember
I'm
how you got
meditating,
into it.
just meditating, listening to Ajahn at a meditation retreat. I was one of the monks,
Yeah,
and came up. I was like, oh, this is it.
yeah.
And
Okay, the
so I'm
steps
watching it.
leading into that, were you
I don't know,
separating out doing and not, or just here you go?
no idea.
Ah,
It
you
just
lucky.
popped up. That's what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like it's not
yeah.
something that you do.
No, no,
It's like
you
it's
were a meditation master from the very
yeah,
beginning.
I am. But no, this is what I mean. Like so, I'm like
Yeah.
sitting there. It's like going around, and what kept happening is it would go zoop, like this,
Mm.
and then it would turn into a massive doily,
Yeah, right.
like, and it was so pretty. It was like ridiculously
Kaleidoscope
pretty, right?
colors and
And the eye would slide off. The vision would slide off the center. You couldn't look at the middle. You would look at it,
mm,
and something would bring out, and you'd like do that, and you would go. It would like you'd be like focusing on this thing,
mm.
and then it would like, and then off again into like papancha. It was just like massive, just like like imagine a doily like just continually weaving itself out in
Yeah.
all directions. And then like I would remember, I'll look at the center and everything would go, and then it would go, and you'd just be like, whoa, and then like, but you wouldn't be watching all of it. You'd just be following like one thread, and
Oh
it would
yeah.
just be leading you away from the rest of it, from the center again.
So
It was like
bizarre.
it was like looking at something that was like intentionally slipping your eye off it. Like it was so freaky.
Yeah.
It was like trying to look at something that you couldn't look at.
Yeah.
Like not because it hurt,
No.
but because your eye slipped off it. Like it just was
Yeah.
like
As soon as
zzz.
you shifted attention to it, it just followed.
It just created something, and your mind was like, oh, what's that? Because it was like it's like when you're looking at a still environment and then there's movement,
Mm.
and your eye goes, boop, what's that?
Right.
It's exactly like that,
Yeah.
and it was just doing that like
Jesus. Man.
until I got tired and had to go to sleep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No.
Because
That.
I couldn't do anything with it. I was just like watching it, watching it. Every time I looked at it, it just expanded and went everywhere. And I was getting, I could feel my body getting tired because I was doing it for hours.
Did that
I'm
come
like, I'm
up
getting
with
so
your eyes
tired.
shut or open?
Shut, but then I could
First
see
shut.
it. I could see it when it was open as well.
Right. Jeez. Yeah.
And it was a different layer than imagination, and it was a different layer than vision.
Vision. Jeez. Yeah. No, I've only experienced the vision and the imagination
Yeah.
layers
The
so
best thing
far.
you could say is what it was. It's what like a hallucination would be. What I imagine it. But I mean, a hallucination is more weaved into your vision.
Yeah.
This was like getting in the way of it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But see that, but like it wasn't like I was like, this time I'm gonna do all the steps right.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like another Ajahn talk, time to sit down.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in front of 60 people, I can't
Yeah.
open my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
But I
a,
need to
but
fart
it's
too
it's just
loud.
it's just all of the causes that I'd put in beforehand
Mm.
happen to arise then. There's no,
Yeah. Right.
there's, it's it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's a ridiculous system.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's
very. Yeah.
it's
It's very
absolutely
weird.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Cause I mean, like I'm trying to teach the students how to meditate and stuff, and it's just like I can't get into this level of why it's good to do with
Yeah,
them
but I mean,
because
they don't really need that, do they? It's
no, I mean,
like,
okay, some do. Most
yeah,
just need to stop being addicted to their phones and computers. so much.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean that it's not a useful skill to have it experienced a couple times.
yeah, that is
Um,
true. I mean, if you can experience it, it's amazing. But it's yeah.
yeah, but um,
Oh, you know what Arjun said after I told him the next day?
what?
You blew it.
Good one. Next lifetime, buddy. Oh God, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
Why? What did he say you're supposed to do?
nothing. He
It's
was just
just you
like, "Oh,
blew
you
it.
blew
Oh,
it."
well,
Yeah.
that's. What about next time? You didn't blow it. You had no control, right?
Yeah, but it was just. I think it was more a reaction to my excitedness, but it was just
Oh,
like,
okay. He was just putting you back in your spot.
yeah, it was just like, yeah, you just blew it.
Yeah, don't get so excited about it.
Yeah,
See what happens.
yeah.
Oh my God. Have you heard or from him or seen anything he's been
No.
doing
Well, we're
lately?
gonna go see him next week
Alright.
because we're gonna be in Perth, so very exciting.
Will he be there?
I think so. I don't know.
Should do the check on where is Arjan now.
Yeah, apparently he's gonna be in a retreat for some of it, and then
Right.
we'll see him afterwards probably.
So I know this time of year, I think he used to come to Malaysia, like Penang or something, but I don't think he's allowed to
Mm.
travel anymore. So,
Yeah, he's probably just doing them in his retreat center.
geez, that must have been quiet in the monastery actually this
Yeah,
past year, because no
I
one would
think
have
they've
been
been
able to.
enjoying it because
Yeah.
they've organized a drive-through Dana.
Oh, really?
So no, everyone stays in their car and they
Yeah.
just drive through and like give food out the window, and then the monks get the food and just leave.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
Still,
drive-through blessings.
someone's there doing the windows as well. Get a couple bucks.
Check your tires,
Oh
oil.
dear. Yeah. All right. Um. Yeah. That's been somewhat painful. Trying to get to that
Yeah,
state because it's just like it was
yeah, I
new.
totally agree, man.
But it's also kind of like all the excitement of meditation is mostly gone
Yeah,
because
it's
it's not new anymore.
yeah,
But that part was interesting because it's like, oh, geez. But then it's like, what do I do with it? It's like you don't do anything with it. Oh, that's pretty much what I thought, but I was
yeah.
figure just let it.
And isn't that boring? It's like you
Yeah,
already know what's gonna what you need to do.
yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah. I
It's
want the
like it's
massive bliss upon bliss upon bliss part of it, but that's not coming.
yeah,
I don't even
no,
care about any limited psychic powers. Or I just want the
mm,
I want the mind-blowing joy.
exactly. Even that happens so rarely.
Yeah.
Like it's the but again, it's the tide that comes up.
Mm,
Like that's what's happening. That's what I'm noticing. Is just the the underlying stability of my mind is way better than when before I did meditation or learned about it.
oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's why the whole alcohol giving up thing is just like, that's not a, it's not even a thing. It's like, yeah, I
Mm,
don't care. I don't care if I never touch a sip again in my life. Because even when
mm,
I do, it's just like I'm having it more to be in a social space. But I don't actually drink to a point where I literally have one glass and then I don't lose
yeah,
clarity anyway. It's just like, alright, that's enough. It was mostly
yeah,
just to make everyone else around me feel comfortable because
yeah,
so they don't feel like they're alcoholics anymore.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, the reality is I don't care if I never. We've literally had a bottle of gin in our fridge for about 2 3 years now, 3 years, and just not
yeah.
touched it because
Every so often we get a bottle of alcohol and it just sits there, like a bottle of wine or something, and it
yeah,
sits there, and then we
you
give it
age
away
it.
at some like party or something.
Yep, yep. I think we just re-gifted a couple of bottles, three
Yeah,
bottles. Yeah, we got rid of 3 bottles. That was good. Cause
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Um. All right. Should we just
yeah,
quick D&D wrap up? Yeah.
yeah.
We cracked on for 2 hours at the moment.
Jesus. All
Yeah.
right. The
Um.
power of the Dhamma. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just more like the practical side of it. It's like, yes, all the
yeah,
teachings are very cool and stuff. I can't remember half of it. I kind of
Yeah,
know what it's pointing at to some extent
yeah.
now.
In the
But
back of my head, I'm always like, man, I should read the Majjhima Nikaya again,
yeah,
and I just never get around to it.
no, it's I've picked it up a few times in the last couple of years, especially when I was trying to teach,
Yeah,
because it's like I should know this one, and at least
yeah,
this is a
yeah.
useful one to for teach the new practitioners and stuff. But
Mm,
like it is so incredibly well written, like
yeah,
the information that's in there. But yeah, it's like I always remember being in the meditation hall. Ajahn Brahm gives a talk. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Get up, and I walk out, and then the guests that had come along to be there for that one Wednesday night talk that we did, or that
yeah,
Ajahn gave, and their eyes are like pinging, and they're like, oh, wow, so amazing, oh my god, and I'm just there like nothing.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, I mean, I've heard that talk quite a few times now, and
yeah.
but I
Too close to the
remember
sun.
that, yeah, I remember that mind state you've been in, and
Yeah,
that was really cool. Big a long way to go. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, exactly.
it's like that just doesn't arise anymore.
Yeah,
I get no mind blowing moments.
yeah.
So
It's a long path.
yeah, but it was interesting noting that those last couple of different parts of the mind, the
Yeah, it's
knower and the
cool.
doer part, that was it's like that was a very oh, that's a part of how things work, and you can detach from that. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, let's stop talking about this.
yeah,
D&D.
indeed, important stuff. So
Yeah,
we crushed.
that was cool. That was not how I was expecting it to go, but it ended
Yeah,
pretty
no,
good.
we broke it. I mean, those statues. All right, so we were in the tunnel of hell, or linking hell
Yeah,
to the material plane.
in
We,
limbo.
yeah, we were in the giant statues from Waterdeep, and
Yeah,
we had to destroy some of the structures that were keeping this tunnel um,
yeah,
stable in limbo. And it turned out all I needed to do was pick up big rocks and throw it at those things, and
yeah.
just destroy it because I get double damage against it. And
Well,
my
that was fine. I was kind of, I mean, maybe I should have made the DC higher for rocks, but I, that is why I made, you had to do a perception check for rocks.
yeah,
Because I did see that that was, might be a problem.
yeah,
But yeah, all of a sudden you guys just kept rolling high, and that
yeah.
was it.
That's what happened. But in saying that, I had 40 hit points left from 414 hit points. So
Yeah,
it
yeah, that was cool.
we did struggle through that. And then like once we finally shattered it and the whole thing started disintegrating, the whole tunnel,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like that was it. My hit points, the statue's hit points completely
yeah.
finished, and it's like just
Gave you
stuck.
guys all the skill challenges. That was cool what you did with the gravity whip though. The gravity lance thing. That was so cool.
So, yeah, so just to explain that to anyone
Yeah,
that's as the tunnel we were in was fragmenting off into like floating bits of rock in the ether kind of space. Imagine
yeah,
like what were those places that was it Theros was in from the Avengers? Thanos, sorry, Thanos, where it's just like big floating islands
yeah.
connected to
Of
nothing.
rock. Yeah,
Yeah, and so we had to like leap across those to get out. I rolled a critical fail, a one, and just floated off into space. And so, in order to change my trajectory, I dropped a gravity, whatever, fissure.
well, is it fissure? Yeah,
Yeah, I threw down a gravity fissure and allowed myself to get caught in its rift to pull me back to the rock. That basically completely destroyed the statue. I think it put me down to like 10 hit points or
yeah.
4 hit
No,
points or
it was
something.
four.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then so the next leap after that, we pretty much disintegrated and the statue destroyed. But
yeah.
yeah, that was the only thing that saved me from complete death in the nether or the ether.
Mm. That was a good ending because because before this one we were still using typing in to attack and
Oh
stuff.
my god. Yeah.
It was dragging on, and then as now that we've got this, it just went so quick. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
That system was so much better. Hopefully,
Oh my goodness. Like you
Yeah.
guys were rolling before I even looked. Like
Yeah.
I was like, roll this, and it was like, boop, 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 boop. I was like, oh, oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
I had time to like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like dice rolls
It's
now. It's so
yeah,
much, yeah, so much better. But actually, it's better than dice roll because it's got all the stats
yeah,
programmed into the,
attached.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you just like
exactly.
make that perception check. You're not going, what's my pluses again? How many do I
Yeah,
add
yeah,
onto this? You just go
exactly.
click and it's up. And yeah, so
Yeah,
it's a very nice system that.
yeah. It allows everyone to stay in the character and in the moment and sort of be
Yeah,
in the story.
yeah, it really
Yeah,
does simplify the interface for the world.
yeah, yeah. I'm so glad we
However,
found that.
however, we've left. We're heroes. You completely removed that from us. It's like,
I didn't. Jadis did.
yeah, sure. So the original heroes of Waterdeep were just like, yes, we have we managed to save it. You can
Yeah,
go. You can go.
yeah, yeah.
And so we got given like a bit of gold and told to go on our merry way.
A bit of gold. You
Okay,
guys got a lot
it
of
was
gold.
5,000 gold. It was awesome amount
Yeah.
of gold. Although apparently I'm in cursed armor now, and I have been for some time, which is it's god awful. The
Not
AC
cursed.
on it is
It's not.
terrible.
It's not cursed. Not
It isn't.
cursed.
Okay, well it's
You just don't understand it.
I don't know how we. I got like 10 intelligence, so he's never gonna work
Yeah.
it out. He's just like pile more gold onto it.
Yeah.
Every time I put some gold on there, like it grows a little bit. But I've sunk like
And
1,000 gold
disappears.
onto it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like nothing's happened. I could have bought a set of like full plate armor or banded mail,
Yeah.
put me on roughly 20 AC, and at the moment I'm on 16 because of this stuff.
So hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do with this character anymore. It's like it's yeah. I'm so used to being this like gargantuan titan of power, and now I'm like back to this like fighter character who's gotta wander
You've
off.
you've you've been in the statues too long. You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
you're
yeah.
having a disassociation.
Yeah, I'm gonna like run into battle and try and look for rocks and smash stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I can't do anything, and then get beaten,
Yeah.
and yeah,
No, that's why I'm glad it kind of stopped and we got a chance to do some chill out
yeah,
and yeah, you guys can gather your thoughts and decide what you want to do on Saturday.
yeah, yeah. We'll need to work out how to move forward on it, but I mean, it's probably nice to get back into that a little bit. Um, I need to work out though what my character's reason for doing all this stuff is, because
Hmm.
he's kind of been like trying to prove himself in battle and then go home and boast about his conquests and get his rightful place in the family again. And he's just saved Waterdeep, so it's like off I
But
go.
not really.
Yeah, but now I've got zero proof of it.
But the thing is, you're welcome to. Like I am literally allowing you guys to do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
I I want you to explore not only your characters, but the interaction between all your characters and the world.
mm, yeah. No, I think he's gonna have to realize the fact that he's not got any trophies, not got any proof of his exploits, not really got like he's got a cool shield. It's pretty
Mm,
nice shield and a pretty cool
yeah, that
axe.
is cool.
Um, but no like trophies of any kills, which is
Mm,
probably something I'm gonna have to get a bag of holding and start collecting
like
trophies.
teeth and
Yes,
tongues and
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do because I could have like
neck a necklace of ears.
yeah, you know, like when the demons were flying, I could have grabbed it and like plucked
Yeah,
its wings off and just chucked it in the backpack. You know, should have done that.
that would have been awesome. Yeah,
That would have been
yeah, but
hilarious.
just
Mm.
seriously, man, don't think what you should be doing. Just do whatever you want because
Yeah, but I gotta
the
invest
game.
in the character to understand like how you're
Oh no,
doing.
that's what I mean. Like, look into it, think what you want to do with the character and do it.
Right.
Don't feel like, oh, maybe maybe the the story needs this or the story needs that.
No,
It re
no, I need to.
you're welcome
Yeah.
to like, yeah,
All right. Well, here's what. All right. Here, off the top of my head, this is what I want to do. I want to like yes, collect trophies, but I also want to start either telling stories or gather small followings.
hmm
So like I think you can get to like level what 8 or something, and you're allowed a follower or something like that. I want like dudes that are into my fighting style and that sort of thing, and they're basically just they can join up for a while and then head off into the world and tell people about
yeah.
how cool a fighter I am, and then they can
Well,
join or
you've got
whatever.
enough gold, dude.
Yeah, I should start up like an academy.
Mm. You've got like
Oh,
5
that's what I'm
grand.
gonna do. I'm gonna start a fighters guild in Waterdeep for
Yeah. See, I think the problem is that you guys aren't thinking about your characters enough.
no, no. We're just
Yeah,
trying to like complete quests,
yeah.
but
And I
it's like
think
for
that
what
is
point?
what, like that, and I think it's because of computer games.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think that's what I'm sort of trying to break from
Mm,
is this sense of computer games that
yeah,
I'm getting from everyone, where it's like,
yeah.
yeah, 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 fast forward through the narrative. Okay, now
Yeah,
what,
click, 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 click.
yeah, what functions do we do
Yeah,
to complete the task?
yeah,
Um, so yeah,
yeah. One of the games that I did play, where the DM did a really good job on our characters for that was that he would send out little questions or little story bits from time to time to each of the players, and then
yeah,
you would like in game resolve that to build it up. So like what we're
mm,
discussing now, for example, I might take it into the Saturday night game
yeah,
where it would just like go, all right, given that he wants to like build his reputation, he wants to start a small school somewhere and set someone in charge of training up fighters or something.
yeah. Well, it's just a matter of all the players taking the time to examine their characters.
Mm,
Like that's what needs to happen. Like what you just did,
yeah,
where it's like, oh, that's what my character wants to do.
yeah,
But that needs to happen with all the characters
yeah, yeah, that's
before
right.
before. It's like otherwise you're just a skin.
Mm,
Like that's the problem. It's like you're just another skin trying to solve problems, and it's like, I mean, D&D works like that, but
it's not as
real
fun.
D&D
Yeah,
is way better than that.
yeah, it's character development. Yeah, and that's certainly what we did in the other game. Um, was that like our characters started building a reputation, and my guy started a temple. He got a wizard's tower. We started
Yeah,
like a trading company. It obviously we didn't play the trading company. We had people like character
yeah, yeah,
NPCs lined up that were taking care of it, and every now and then we got a little bit of gold out of it. But it was like it carried our reputation so that we were more likely to end up dealing with the lords and ladies of the area because they knew who we were and we had businesses and stuff.
yeah,
And then that made us invested into the land and into the actual saving of the place when stuff was going terribly wrong.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and yeah, that kind of worked out well. Whereas at the moment, fair enough, we were all pretty low level, building our
mm,
way up, and Waterdeep had its own problems going on at that stage. But now that that's
yeah.
settled,
Well, that was the original idea
mm,
was to have this story arc, well, this arc of the story,
mm,
be where everyone got used to playing D&D again.
yeah, right, yeah, I guess we've needed that.
That's what my thought was,
Yeah,
honestly. Like I was like, I'm gonna try and create something that's fairly on rails,
mm,
um, that has very defined points,
yeah,
and you're gonna achieve those points.
yeah,
But now you guys have kind of graduated,
yeah.
so
So now we can start driving the story more.
yeah, and I want that, like, because
Yeah,
it only goes so far when I'm the one imagining what's happening.
yeah, that's right. You end up putting in all the work, and we're just sitting there waiting for like, what's the next task? How do I complete it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And where's my reward? I want my like
Yeah,
+2 sword that is
yeah.
always
That's why I
shiny.
started getting. Well, that's why I started getting giving. That's why I gave out a few nebulous things.
Yeah.
Like, here's the here's the copper rose. Like to the bard. It's like,
Oh yeah.
it's like here's a copper rose. Come meet us here in like 3 months at the solstice. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Right.
not a task. It's an
No.
invitation.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. But along that
there's
way,
no
I can like go to town, build my
yeah,
reputation, tell people
but it's
about my
also just
school.
a
Yeah.
but it's also just an invitation. It's not a
Mm.
task like when you what you've been doing, which is you've been forced to do a series of actions
Yeah.
before something bad happens.
Yeah.
Like
Actually. Yeah.
like say you miss the solstice,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
it's like what I mean. It's not something urgent.
Yeah.
It's just something.
Yeah. I guess so. Because it's all about the journey. But yeah, I mean, I must admit, I did have fun in the game that I was running in when getting them from one spot to another. Like they had to travel through four towns. Between each town, there was like a small encounter. Within each town, there was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a couple of points of interest. They could do fun little things here and there, and
yeah,
then every now and then, like some sort of bit of information to make the main storyline progress.
yeah,
But like we would have certain games there where the whole night was just shopping. They're just going
yeah,
around
yeah.
getting
That's
stuff
cool.
made and
Yeah,
purchasing and whatnot. Um,
yeah.
and
That's what I want to get to. Like, I want to get the party to be a party instead of some gamers.
yeah,
That's when
yeah,
it gets awesome.
yeah. We've been playing regularly enough now.
Mm,
But I think yeah, like I don't, I haven't spoken to the new Kim's new character Guinness at
mm.
all. It's like
Yeah, because he like died just as you guys are getting into giant statues.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like,
And I
you
missed the
get,
night. I was away on the night when
oh,
the new
that's right.
character
Yeah,
came,
yeah.
so I was just like, who's this itty bitty?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny because it was like he literally died, and then like the super mechanical ending came. Like, that was basically what happened.
Right, yeah,
It just became like, here's some giant awesome mechanics, go use them.
yeah,
And yeah, you guys had heaps of fun with them, but it's like
yeah.
it
No,
wasn't.
Bennett did a really good job making those macros because seriously, it was just like one click, um,
Yeah,
and
that was
now it
awesome.
does all that. I mean, I guess I can delete them all now, but
Yeah,
the character
but
sheet pretty much takes care of most of the rest of that. But
well, now everyone's got their character sheet linked, so it's just
yeah,
even better. It's like,
yeah,
do I need to make a stealth roll? Stealth. Do
yeah,
I need to make a saving throw? Saving throw.
yeah,
It's just so cool.
yeah. There's only small things like bardic inspiration that you like make a little macro for,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a few things it doesn't cover, but it's
but
yeah,
most of it
it's.
is no. It's a nice system now that we've got running, so that's
Oh,
good.
and I noticed. Here's something I noticed. If you go into, I meant to tell Ben something. If you go into the gifts of um Discord and type in a spell name,
Yeah.
it has a card with an animation on it.
Mm. And
It just looks cool. Like you can
oh,
cast the GIF.
oh, where does it appear in Discord?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah. Have a look. It's pretty cool.
yeah. Can check them out. Should be good. All right, so we're
Yeah,
definitely on
I just noticed it.
for Saturday though.
Yeah,
Everyone's in.
unless something. Yeah, I mean I'm heading to Perth, but yeah, unless something bad happens or
All right.
pl plane goes down or I catch COVID,
Uh, chances are you got a
I'll
99.8% chance of recovering from that anyway.
I'll just I'll just play an old man for 2 weeks. As I'm like,
You is it free vaccine by the way for
yeah, of
Aussies?
course, of
Really?
course,
Right. Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's the same for Malaysians here, but
yeah.
unfortunately I'm not
Ah, you're not
Malaysian.
Malaysian.
Yeah. So
Like I said, just jump and push Rumi out of the way as she's getting her.
yeah, well, I mean,
Whoops!
I'm thinking like I'll probably be working in a school. We go back to work next week with students and
Oh,
everything in.
okay. Wow.
Yeah, no, we're still at like 2,500 cases every day. They're
Oh,
just like,
that's
screw it.
wow. That's a
Yeah,
bit of a worry.
yeah, it's
Oh, I
weird.
thought things had gotten better.
No, no, they're definitely at the past capacity for beds and people
Jeez.
with it.
Well,
Um,
stay safe, dude.
oh,
Make sure you wear a mask.
oh yeah, yeah, we're going in on Friday to completely cover how to do all the whatever standard operating procedure
PPE, yeah.
thing. Um, and yeah, we've already got like the face shield as well as the mask and the sanitizing things everywhere, and cleaners come by every hour and wipe all the doorknobs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's pretty good. Like you definitely don't want a case appearing in the school because then the school has to shut down
No.
for a few days
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
But I mean, the chances are that I might catch it anyway, um, which would kind of suck.
Yeah, it's nice knowing you.
Um, but we're not getting the vaccine for at least another 3 months here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the same as Australia.
Yeah, which for some reason I don't know what it is. It's like they're bringing it in that they can get it already, but it's like but we're just gonna check it and do all this stuff
Ah,
and
okay. Yeah.
make sure
Yeah,
it
so they're
meets
doing
it.
their side, their checks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, make sure there's
Fair
no
enough.
no Bill Gates microchips inside and whatnot. And if there aren't, put some in, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever your tech entrepreneur is, they can put one of those microchips in.
Yeah, I think they're purchasing a bunch of them from China as well, though. So we got some from the German or the Swedish one or something, and then some from the China one as well.
Try and get the German one.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you
Mm.
can pick which one it is, then yeah. But
Well, if you're paying for it, hopefully you can. But yeah.
yeah, should be able to. Yeah, but we'll wait and see what comes out in the mix. See what the next 3 months hold.
So you guys coming back here yet anytime?
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna just start looking as much as I can to get work back in
Mm.
Australia. As soon as I can get something, we'll jump on a plane and go. Um, hoping to get to Melbourne actually,
Oh, cool.
but really it'll be wherever a job pops up.
Yeah, that was the same for us.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that would be ideal. But I like for the moment, Ramira's still like I think she needs to get special permission to even travel outside of Malaysia, and she needs permission
Ah,
from
yeah.
the Australian government
Yeah,
to come in on
exactly.
a
Yeah.
spousal visa because we haven't got that
Yeah. I
approved.
honestly think things will get easier in like 6 months once
Yeah,
there's a release of the vaccine. Everyone's sort of
yeah, yeah. Well, I just saw Australia like enlarged the number of visas they're allowing for like family visas or spousal visas and stuff. So they've like added or allocated an additional 50%
oh, okay.
increase on. So it should it should be
Well,
pretty
that's
easy
cool.
to get in
Yeah,
once
yeah.
we're there.
That'll be awesome.
Um, but yeah, I won't be traveling anywhere without work. So
Yeah, yeah.
if it means that I'm here for another year or so, or 2 years doing a job because I can't get one back in Australia, then that's what it'll be.
Yeah.
But if I can get one there, then yeah, I'll go back because that'll be cool. Um, and starting to kind of miss Australia a little bit actually. I think that's been the main thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like getting so much craving for Western food. Like they have certain places here that do pretty damn good Western food. But it's just not quite the same. Like you can't go to the your bakery and have all your particular, you know, delicacies the way they make
Yeah,
them in
yeah.
Australia. They do some, but they're not quite the same, or they don't taste quite as good. And most places don't have the same kind of pizza you can get and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
meals. So there's a lot of that I'm missing. You can get a steak here, but it's not as readily available as it is in Australia. Plus, all like the shopping centres. If you want to buy like the Australian goods, it is literally 3 times the price.
Wow.
And yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm spending
Yeah.
$12 for 200 grams of butter kind of thing, and
Oh
it's
gosh.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. But it's just what it
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah, exactly. Can't do anything about it.
no, can't do that. I'll definitely, although we'd definitely miss the food once we leave Malaysia. We're just like, all right, don't go out for Western food. We're gonna get banana leaf. We had banana leaf today
Yeah,
with the biryani, and we got the mutton, and we got
yeah.
like the fried, like I think it's a fried fish with like a lime. Where we just squeeze lime over the top of them, and oh
Oh,
man,
cool.
it's so flavorful. The food,
Yeah,
the local food is so good here. So
yeah.
Ramiro is,
Australian food is really bland. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I don't
yeah,
miss that much of the Australian food. This is why
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I kind of am craving some of that stuff. But
yeah,
really, all I'm craving is like a burger and a pizza,
yeah, yeah.
and you can get really good ones here as well. It's just
Mm,
it's not in many places like it is in Australia. But
yeah, yeah.
Ramira is like, she's writing down a whole list of dishes that she wants to learn how to cook. She's already got quite a few of the local ones down, like
Oh,
pretty
that's
damn
good.
well. And I can make chapatis pretty well now as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, she wants to learn how to make the rendang and the biryani.
yeah.
Once we've got those two dishes, we've pretty much got most of the main dishes covered. So it's like we
You
won't
could,
miss Malaysia as much.
you might be able to set up a restaurant.
The way she cooks, definitely, yeah,
Mm.
could definitely sell to people that miss Malaysian cooking or people that want to try it.
Well, just it's so big. Like Malaysian cooking is missing in so many places.
Yeah,
'Cause it's what my wife craves all the time. We're
yeah,
always looking for Malaysian cooking. There's always places that call itself Malaysian and it never is.
it's not the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
And so
we
you
could
just
literally just go to Papa Rich. I think that was the only place
yeah,
we went where it was like, this is pretty good.
that's literally what we do.
Yeah,
We get a
right.
nasi lemak from Papa Rich or the
Do they have it in
yeah,
Darwin?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. So we
What
go there
is
like
what does your wife say? Is that like the flavor the same there? Because I know
yeah,
some
she likes
restaurants will
it,
change
but
it. Okay.
it's still I think it's I mean I don't know how to speak to talk, but I think what they do is it's tends to be richer when you come to the West because you can get more fatty ingredients and stuff
Yeah,
like
right,
that. You know,
right.
instead of using like
Ton of
the
MSG.
butt, well, the butthole of the like pig, you're using the like
Oh
prime
yes.
shoulder. You know, you know what I mean? It's like this, instead of using the fish
Fresher the
heads,
better. Oh yeah.
you get to use the fish like fillets. So it's like that tends to be how good Asian food is westernized. It's like
Right.
instead of getting like gross little bits of meat from like when I ate lamb's lung by accident.
Oh my God, what were we eating lamb's lung for?
I was in Indonesia with
Oh right.
and it was like a chopped up plate of lung, heart, and liver, I think.
Oh dear God.
I didn't know, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was just called meat. So it was just like, and I'm like
Oh
it was like eating, it was
God.
like eating, it was like eating like a spiced beef jerky with a gravy on it, like a curry,
How was it?
and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like it,
It's
I
just
wasn't like I didn't vomit it, and like when I got told what it was, I was just like, oh well, like
yeah.
I'll just keep eating it. But it wasn't. But you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that dish would then become rump steak or something chopped up. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be the organs anymore, and I
Yeah.
think that's sort of how it gets changed.
Yeah. Yeah. The flavor changes a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. We'll have to see when I can get work. Um,
Yeah,
before I can come over. But yeah, once we do, it'll be pretty good to get back to Australia. It's been like a good four
pretty,
years.
pretty good.
Yeah, I think 4 years this February. So next month
Wow,
we'll have hit 4 years
that's
away.
crazy.
Mm. But yeah, like the reality is we're just waiting for the vaccine to get pumped out and then work out
Yeah,
what their requirements are. Because if we have to come back in quarantine, there's no way. It's gonna cost
yeah,
us like 6 grand, and it's like
yeah.
I
It's
need
ridiculous,
some
man.
savings left to do
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, you need to be able to survive as well. Like you got to get a place, you got to get like
Yeah, and that like 2 weeks in quarantine will just like kill half of that, especially if I'm trying to get in for a job
yeah,
and yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming what will happen is that the vaccine will come around. They'll say, all right, global travel is allowed to countries that have the vaccine. You'll need to produce the fact that you've had the vaccine or you've got the antibodies already. Now you're allowed to travel again.
yeah. That's what I'm assuming. It'll
Yeah,
be they're talking about like vaccine passports.
yeah,
So it's like it goes in like and it shows that you've had the vaccine.
yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm assuming if you've had it and you've got the antibodies, that would you should be able to get that one as well, right? Like,
No, that's what I mean. Like I think it'll be a little passport that they'll give you,
yeah,
and you show that at customs.
yeah,
Look, here's which vaccine I had. You know, blah blah blah.
yeah. Or someone will like
So,
cough in your face and then check your temperature afterwards, and it's like he's
yeah,
immune. It's fine. Let him through.
yeah. This is our COVID tester.
Step up.
We've lost a few of them, but anyway,
Well, yeah,
I think we should wrap us up, dude. It's
yeah.
how
All
long
right,
have we been
it's
going?
2.5 hours. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can. We're losing our viewers.
episode 13.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Cool.
That's
All
what
right.
happens when we miss a week.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Well. Hopefully we'll find out what shenanigans the US has gotten up to and have something to talk
Yeah, it's
about
gonna be
next one.
super interesting. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Should be
for
fun.
sure.
All right, dude.
I'll see you on Saturday.
Yes. I'll catch you later.
Catch you later.